Welcome to the FNL Eastland Match of the Round, coming to you live from Bayswater Oval. Today we're going to see a clash between two teams fighting for a spot in the Division 1 finals. This is Bayswater versus North Ringwood. For North Ringwood, it's just about win and you're in, and for Bayswater, it's win and stay alive. Lose this one, and it's time to start thinking about 2024 for the Waters. My name is Jared Bainland, and you are listening to the pre-game show for this match, and alongside me, cadre of experienced gentlemen in the footy media team. Ryan Long, the media manager. How you doing, mate?
Thanks for having us, Jared. Obviously, as you mentioned, it's a big game for Bayswater. You win this one, you're still in the hunt. You lose, officially you can rule them out of the running for a final spot. And I don't think we've had Bayswater or North Ringwood for a match of the round since 2019, 2018. It's going back a fair few years, and obviously we come here for the finals time, the Premier Division final, of course, the grand final, but we haven't actually been here for a Bayswater home game for quite some time. So I'm pretty excited to see both sides. It's
going to be really interesting to see how this game shapes out. Ray Baird, how are you doing, mate? You'll be in special comments today?
Oh, yeah, I'm very well, Jared, and I'm really excited to be back here at Bayswater Oval. I go back a little bit. I spent 5 years as a statistician here for Bayswater when they were in Division 1 back in the glory days. But no, it's great to be out here, and I reckon this is going to be a real tussle today. I think it's going to be probably about a goal margin either way.
I wouldn't be surprised at all given the form of these two teams. And sitting down on the end there, one of our boundary riders for today, Jono Venn. How you doing, Jono?
I'm going well, Jared. Thanks for having me, and good to be back with you two gentlemen, and a big hello to everyone out there listening on the various platforms that we have here. And what a perfect day for footy. Doesn't get any better.
Good Saturday.
Great Saturday.
Two good Saturdays in a row.
You'll be calling with them shades on, Ryan, for sure.
Maybe. We'll see. See, the sun will be behind us by the time.
See, we've got this, we've got this pan tilt zoom camera just here, and mate, you'll be caught out for sure.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
So it's going to be a fascinating match, but of course a lot of different games going on around the suburbs in the eastern regions of Melbourne. So we're going to have a look at some of them real quick. We'll start from the bottom up. We'll go with Division 4 right now. Kilsyth versus Scoresby is perhaps the most interesting game in this division. Kilsyth obviously really fighting to keep their top two spot alive, and Scoresby, they're bound for finals. But what sort of form are they going to be coming into finals with, especially given the fact that they did get done by Kilsyth by 100 points or somewhere around that not long ago?
Well, Ray, they're out of form at the moment, and a loss to Chirnside Park season, probably going into that first final series as the underdog, assuming they play Chirnside Park in that game. And technically, they're actually not 100% safe, because if Forest Hill calls an upset today over Surrey Park, and then Scoresby lose, they'll play Forest Hill, and that would probably decide who finishes in the four and who misses out. In saying that, I don't think Forest Hill will beat Surrey Park, so I think they'll be fine in making it. But, Ray, they need to find some form, otherwise they're going to a final series out of shape, and I know there's a few outs, but they're not playing their best footy as they were maybe a month ago. No,
certainly are not playing their best football, but look, another chance at the top dog in Kilsyth, and you never know. Football's a funny thing, and I know they're looking, from a 100-point loss last time they played, but that's history now. I think the best thing you do is you forget about that. You look at today's game. I don't know, maybe that game was played in wet conditions, whatever, as you boys just said. The weather's fantastic for football today, and I think that all around the grounds, I think there's going to be a few more goals kicked than what we've had over the last few weeks.
Yeah, it may suit Scoresby the conditions. They have struggled in the past few weeks. They've been a little bit out of form. However, obviously a day like this, it could be a little bit more conducive to the sort of style that they'll want to play. Especially given the fact it is Division 4, and it is against Kilsyth, a team that runs hard and runs fast. So it'll be very interesting to see. Jono, what are your thoughts on this Div 4 match?
Yeah, exactly. Like Ray says, football's a funny thing. Anything can happen, but I reckon, it's a big game to win.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of other games going around in Division 4. You've got the battle of the two bottom teams, the Cellar Dwellers, Nunawading and Croydon North Amlock, of course. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Croydon North can continue the form that they've shown in the past couple of weeks. They've been able to kick a few more goals. I'd be interested to know sort of like how they've been able to deal with the injuries that they've sustained over the past few weeks and or over the past
really
entire season.
They've had a lot of outs and a lot of changes in multiple weeks, and I think they've had maybe a little bit more of a stable lineup in probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, and their performances. I mean, last week to only go down to the best side in the division by 5, 6, 7 goals. It's probably a big positive in where they've come from over the last couple of months. And for Nunawading, I mean, to only win 2 games this season with probably a much better year, I think Frank would be pretty keen on at least making it 3.
Yep.
And then for Croydon North, it's last chance to win a game for the 2023. And we've got the Oracle predictions in front of us. The Oracle who sends in his tips or her tips every weekend, and tip this one as a draw. 43 each.
Okay.
That's fascinating.
So I'd be I don't know. I think both sides will actually score a bit more than that, right?
Yeah, I think they will. And look, I think this is a great opportunity for Croydon North to finally get a win for the season. You said Nunawading to had 2 wins. Well, that would have been twice they've already played Amlock. But no, I think that as I said before, forget about what's happening. Croydon North have got nothing to lose. Let's get out there, get a good start, throw caution to the wind. You've got nothing to lose, and who knows, at the end of the day, you might be in front.
And conversely, Ray, I would suspect that, Nunawading aren't really going to forget about what's happening on the basis of numbers. It's probably going to be Nunawading's game to win, isn't it? They're just, look, in terms of the amount of points that they've had scored on them versus Croydon North Amlock, it's probably going to be a convincing win for Nunawading to a degree. I mean, in their eyes, it's probably going to be convincing for them.
Yeah, exactly. And I would suggest, honestly, I think Nunawading just have that a little bit more quality, especially given the recruits that they've been able to get in the off-season. Croydon North weren't as active in that front. So the last game in Division 4 is, of course, Surrey Park versus Forest Hill. Now, Forest Hill, this is almost do or die for them at this point.
It is, I think. Yeah. I think lose this one and you're done. Looking at where they are on the ladder, Churnside Park has Nunawading in that last round, so they'll win that one, you would imagine. So they're pretty much safe. And then Scoresby's the only side I think they can actually jump, despite the Magpies sitting 3rd at the moment. They would have to win this one, and then obviously beat Scoresby next week in a 8-point game. But just to the way that Surrey Park are going now, they seem to have bounced back from a bit of a mid-season slump. Playing some good footy, got almost a full-strength side in at the moment. So I think Surrey Park win this by a lot. And the last 2 times they've played, they've been, I think, 10-plus goal margins. I think 80 points the last time. So, again, be expecting the same thing. I think this will be a very big one-sided game.
Ray, do you reckon there's going to be a bit more of that motivation for Forest Hill? Is that going to be enough to push them across the line, or has Surrey Park just got too much quality?
No, I think Surrey Park will win this game and win it quite easily. But once again, the door's ajar for Forest Hill. Once again, if everything's switched on, you're always a chance in football.
Absolutely. Jono, your thoughts on this Div 4 match?
I look at Surrey Park, and the amazing thing about them is they've been able to time their run magnificently, despite the injury slump, as mentioned in the middle of the season. We were going, hang on a sec, where are they really at? And it seems that they're on track, and to respond emphatically after what happened to them last year. If they're on track for a big win, then big things are to come finals. Yeah,
absolutely, and this is a perfect way to sort of stamp their authority and come into it with come into the final season series with quite a bit of form. Of course, Churnside Park have the bye this week, just for the record, and we'll have a look at the Oracle tips as well. We knew that Nunawading and Croydon North, that'll be a draw. The Oracle, interestingly, has Scoresby 82 defeating Kilsyth 55, which
that's a big call.
That is a huge call, and a couple of the upsets that the Oracle tipped last week kind of blew me away.
So effectively, if Kilsyth goes down, it's
there's some sort of inside word at the moment.
You've got a big win for Surrey Park. Then, based on percentage, Surrey Park will finish very well and be very optimistic coming into the final few weeks.
That's the other thing. They could lock up probably minor premiership almost. I think they're a game behind at the moment. So still, I guess 1v2 plays each other either way. So you finish top 2, that's all that really matters, whether it's first or second. But
home rooms or away rooms, that's the only difference.
Depends what you like down there at East.
With that being said, Jared, are you potentially superstitious about this one? If someone gets in the wrong room,
I haven't played footy in a long enough time and played very few finals as well to know exactly what the superstitions are around that, unfortunately.
I think more or less after the pandemic, all the footy superstitions have flown out the window anyway, especially considering AFL Grand Finals, but I digress.
And the Oracle has also got Surrey Park 120 over Forest Hill 80, and I think that's about
spot on.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, if the Oracle gets the other one right, I'm going to find out who he is. Or maybe who she is.
Expose them on air.
Yeah, who they are, because if spot on if they get it right.
Yep. Well, one thing I will say is, we've got our man Dylan Smith. He's very good at doing the videos. He might be doing some sort of conspiracy.
He might be the one.
Conspiracy investigation.
A documentary into the Oracle. I'd like to see that.
I'd love to see that, absolutely.
So we'll move into Division 3 very quickly. I think the best game up for discussion this week there is perhaps the Ferntree Gully versus Sylvan game out at Wallichoo Reserve. This is a second versus third matchup, of course, but there is quite a gap between the two teams in terms of wins and losses. Ferntree Gully looking pretty strong, obviously. They've not lost to many teams other than Don Vale, just a couple of hiccups along the road there. And Sylvan, they do drop games against teams they perhaps shouldn't, and it could be a little bit backed up against the wall here for Sylvan.
Yeah, and I mean, Ray, the big thing for Sylvan at the moment, they're pretty much locked in that third spot, so they'll play a elimination final. But if they are to make it through that and make it a semi-final, they're probably playing Ferntree Gully, and so far they've lost to them twice. They lose to them 3 times, and by a comfortable margin today, the mindset will be... It'll be tough going into that semi-final or preliminary final, actually, to win that one.
It certainly would, Ryan. And look, Ferntree Gully, they're getting a couple of players back now who have been very important to them, so they'll just be too strong today, I feel, anyway.
Macomb definitely a big in for this one. They're still awaiting Kennedy, who shouldn't be too far away, I don't think.
Yeah, I've heard rumours that he's back 1 week for the Donvale game, and then I've heard rumours that he's not back till final series. So I'm not 100% sure on that timeline, but considering their spot on the ladder, and I don't know if it's an injury, if he's away overseas, if it's an injury, you wouldn't rush, because at the moment they're locked. They're going to play finals. They're going to play a top 2 finish, so they're going to play Donvale in that first week. So I wouldn't be rushing him beforehand if it's injury-based. I'm not sure. He could be even just overseas, as sort of half the EFNL is at the moment, travelling around Europe and whatnot.
You know what I say, Ryan? Eastern's everywhere.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's everywhere over Europe at the moment, and it's certainly interesting. But for Ferntree Gully, and D'Essio comes out of the side as well, so I don't know, again, if you want to get him on a consistent basis come finals time. He's had probably a interrupted season as well, in and out. Braden Wright comes back inside, so they do get one ruckman back, which is key for them. But it'll be certainly interesting. They go in as heavy favourites today, I think. But
definitely.
Chance of Sylvan to see what they can do.
Indeed. Matt Lowe coming off of an 8-goal game, which is interesting. Is that, Jono, is that enough of a momentum swing for Sylvan, or do you think Ferntree Gully is just too much of a quality team for Sylvan to bring that momentum to this sort of game?
Well, footy's a game of momentum, isn't it, Jared, right? So, of course, Sylvan will definitely be riding off the back of this one. Are they going to expect the exact same thing to happen? Probably not. No. However, don't believe in never, right? This could be absolutely huge for Sylvan, and indeed, again, huge implications come the next few weeks as well.
Indeed. So we'll move on now to Coldstream versus Warrandyte, a game between two sides that have flattered to deceive a little bit this season. Ray, I would give Coldstream like a bit of an edge, maybe, if it given that it's on their home ground, as Warrandyte also have a couple of players coming out like Lockie Geimer, Lockie O'Brien. A little bit tricky there for Warrandyte, as it has been all season. Where do you see this one falling, Ray?
Well, look, I'm going to go for Warrandyte. I know they've got, as you said, a couple of players out, but Coldstream, I think it's a season there they want to forget. Not that Warrandyte has been any better, but I just think, over the last couple of weeks, Warrandyte has sort of got back on track a little bit as far as I'm concerned, and I'm going to pick Warrandyte, probably only by 2 goals.
That makes sense. Darcy Fritsch back in, Ryan. How big of a difference is that going to make for Coldstream?
Yeah, it's key and beautiful conditions for him too. So also depends on the delivery going forward. I don't know if he's probably had the best for the season. Obviously, Carrigan's had a phenomenal year, but there's been a lot of injuries for Coldstream as well as Warrandyte. So they probably had players coming in and out, and a lot of changes. And Darcy Fritsch has been one of them, only playing a certain amount of games this season, and that is due to VFL duties. But I think it'll make a bit of a difference. And no Phillips, I think, for Warrandyte still. I think he was a hamstring a couple of weeks ago, so maybe there's something in that.
Bit of a job for Quinn Clark, perhaps.
And I think it'll be close. And for Coldstream, if they can pull off this one, it's a little less pressure for next week when they take on Whitehorse, because you lose this, you go into that Whitehorse game and lose that one as well, you're probably being relegated to Div 4 again. Yeah,
really tricky stakes there for Coldstream for sure. Jono, we were talking off air about how this time last year you made your debut on the boundary line up at Coldstream, and it's a huge ground, it's a cold ground. How much do you think that'll affect a team like Warrandyte going up there?
Well, Coldstream's ground, it is a bit of a fortress, isn't it? And they've made it their own, and as such, they've got Fridge coming back to help them and all that sort of thing. Look, I think Coldstream are probably favourites, but I'm sort of leaning towards what Ray is saying in regards to the fact that Warrandyte might be able to pull off a small win here.
A small win, as in by a couple of goals.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, even points. Just they'll definitely keep Coldstream on their toes, I reckon.
Makes sense. I would honestly, I tipped Coldstream on the podcast, and I'm going to stick by that for now.
I can't remember who I tipped.
Yeah, I think you were with me with Coldstream.
Well, I better stick with it then.
I've chosen for you.
There you go.
So we'll move on. Donvale versus Oakley Districts, a game that is going to be obviously very tricky for Oakley Districts to match it with a Donvale side that's been an absolute juggernaut up until this point, and doesn't look like stopping anytime soon, Ryan. Do you see any hope for Oakley Districts? We saw them not too long ago, obviously, and do you think there's much of an opportunity for them?
It's hard to say. Donvale have been really, really strong over the season, and again, probably another win expecting with the form that they're going in.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll take a bit of a break from our discussions of the games around the grounds today to welcome the coach of North Ringwood, Robbie Nahas. Thank you so much for joining us and dedicating your time in the pre-game of a very important match here for you guys here at Bayswater. What's the feeling around this game for you guys at this point?
Excitement, to be honest.
Yeah.
We've been Premier Division for the last few years when I've been coaching, and this time of year usually we're just trying to get to the end of the season. We're relegation sort of set in stone, and it's nice to be in a position now where we've got something to play for. And win, lose or draw, I think we've had a really positive season. I've got such a young group of guys, and it's essentially a 2-year season with no promotion this year. So we're building for next year, and whatever happens this year is just a bonus. I think these guys have come on a lot quicker than I expected, but yeah, very proud of them.
Well, you mentioned relegation from Premier Division last year. Obviously, it wouldn't have been a great feeling for that to occur, but does it feel like a bit more of a relief now? How do you contrast the feelings now coming into the finals, a potential finals berth, to what occurred last year?
When you're in it, especially when you're in it last year, I didn't want to go down at all. Very proud person. It feels like a bit of a dent to the ego to get a team relegated, but when you look at it now and the demographic and the age demographic of our group, it's probably the best thing for the footy club, to be fair. We've got some really talented young kids, but when you're coming up against Kyle Martin at Noble Park, it doesn't matter how talented these kids are, it takes them a while to sort of get to that level. So coming down is probably the best thing for the footy club, and it's shown. It's taken us it took us probably 11 weeks to sort of lose that losing culture that it's been 7 years in Premier Division where it's been a real battle. So coming back down, guys are starting to believe in themselves, and hopefully in the next couple of years when my core players are at 22, 23, you know, we have another go at Premier Division when these guys are ready to play against men.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned how different it has been in Division 1. Has that meant that you're able to develop your playing style, your brand of footy a little bit more freely?
Yeah, yes and no. I still think, to be fair, the bottom 5 at Premier and the top 5 at Div 1 are fairly similar. I think it's pretty close, based on my experiences of the last couple of years and this season. So, but what it gives you the opportunity is you get these guys, these kids that get to play against the same size bodies, essentially week in, week out. And yeah, to some degree, we're able to be a bit more aggressive with our ball movement, and it's not going in there and just survive. So, but at the same time, I think the experiences that we've had at playing Premier Division sort of helped us progress our game plan as well. But we've put a lot of work into our defensive structure. As you can see, our scores, we defend extremely well. Offensively, we've been struggling, but in the last 5-6 weeks, I think we've increased our offense by 2 or 3 goals a game. So it's a great segue into next season and to the end of the season. But yeah, we just want to continue under the same instructions that we've had throughout the whole year with our defensive structure, and that's going to win us games at footy, and hopefully our offense just keeps ticking along.
And certainly the last couple of months has been really positive, maybe a little bit of a slow start coming into the division. Has it sort of helped the second time around to play the sides you obviously first time playing most of them in the first 9 weeks has sort of helped in the back half of the season, because you haven't lost too many probably in the second half of the year when you've come up against the sides you faced the first time? Yeah,
no, we've been really, really, really good. We lost to Montrose by 11 goals, I think, and then to come out last week and to draw with them. And I just wanted to get Easy so bad. I've known Easy since I was 18 years old, and I've coached with him. I played under him, and he keeps telling me the apprentice can't get him, and I was that close to getting him. I reckon I should have got him last week too. I hope he's listening to this. So it was a fantastic game of footy, but to show that in 11 weeks or 9 weeks, we've gone from 11 goals down to probably should have had more scoring shots. A really strong game of footy, but we drew that game. So we've clearly improved as a side. It's evident to see, and yeah, I definitely think that understanding what sort of teams do and having a bit more information gives you a much easier task in the second half of the season when you come up against them.
And the draw actually probably really helps you in the end, because percentage-wise, you might be a little bit lower than Bayswater and Moolbuck and some of the sides around you, but now that's out of the question, and you're sitting, I think, a game and a half clear. Yeah. So win today, you're looking pretty good for a potential final spot.
Yeah, I think, the draw actually worked out perfectly. Win, lose or draw last week, well, I think the result with Bayswater and Croydon really helped us. And Ronnie South, I think they've got a fair few injuries at the moment, guys in Europe and whatnot. So, yeah, the draw was definitely a blessing, to be honest, when you look at it now.
Robin, I agree with what you've said totally. Your progression this year as the season's gone has been fantastic. But look, I was talking to some of my mates down there who are your supporters, and they said that you got injuries as well. Well, all clubs have injuries. But because of the injuries, have you been able to try some of these young kids who maybe if you didn't have the injuries wouldn't get a go? And has any of them surprised you?
I don't think any of them have surprised me. I think because what you see at training, if you see it at training, you understand they're capable. So, we do a lot of work throughout the pre-season. I see a lot of these kids, and I see the talent they have. So, a surprise, no. But the speed in which they're able to implement that from training to games, I think that's gone a lot faster than what I would have thought. But I try and set up a system not based on talent. Everyone's going to get injuries, like you said. So what I do is I set up a system based on one soldier out, one soldier in sort of thing. So regardless of who we lose, we're still able to play our way. And that's why the defensive structure is so important to how we go about it. Because offensively, you can be off sometimes, and I'd need another string to our bow to win games of footy. And the way I set up our defence and the way these guys implement our defence, it doesn't really matter who's in or out. Yeah. We're able to play it as a unit.
Yeah. With your results this year, even if you don't play finals, you must also agree that, that gives you open the door a little bit with regard recruiting next year, rather than, like we went into this season, you've been relegated, very hard to get people to come.
Yeah, definitely. I think, to get potential players into the footy club, I think we're at 26 points most weeks. So we're clearly homegrown. And it does open the door to get potential recruits into this footy club. But at the same time, we've got such a good junior program. I think we've got 640 juniors at North Ringwood.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So we've got an ability to have sustained success for a very, very long time. And we've just got to make sure this pathway is really good for these guys. Because at the end of the day, we want people that want to come and play for North Ringwood. But we love having everyone homegrown because it means so much more to them.
And just on yourself, still enjoying running out there and playing?
I'm never stopping, I don't think. So, got to stay young somehow. And these guys, I think I'm double most of their ages. Some of these guys, I'm 36 this year, but body's still really good. I'm so light, so it sort of helps me a little bit. I'll try and stay away from all contact. You'll see today, I'll make sure I don't get touched at all today. So, but no. It's going really, really well. I'm really happy with the season. Hopefully we get the win today.
So I've been excited to see North Ringwood play. I've been excited to see Bayswater play as well, because we haven't covered either team in the time that I've been on the media team. It's been a few years. Who are some players that you're looking forward to? I know it might be sort of like more back of the mind kind of stuff that we're here, but I'm curious to know who do you reckon out of your squad deserves some more exposure, deserves some more recognition and credit?
Oh, well, I give this guy credit everywhere. Ben Livingston, you'll watch him today. He's a fantastic footballer. He's played back exceptionally well. We had to move him forward because we just didn't have that focal point to straighten us up, and he's been, he's a talent, mate. To be honest, he should be on a VFL list. He should be going to that next level. It's completely up to him if he wants to. Harry Flynn, you'll see him today. He's 18, 19 years old. Harry Flynn's an exceptional player. Jack Whelan, I'm sure you know about Jack Whelan.
Yeah, indeed.
It's remarkable what he does every week, and I just don't know how he plays footy at that level and hits in the way he does. I just don't know how he keeps getting up. Jesse Meikle's been really, really good on the wing. Young kid, Geordie Milne. I could literally rattle off that many guys at the moment. They're playing really good footy, but Channy, Jackson Bruthnell in the forward line, and Paddo. So there's so many, but I think if you pay attention to Livo today, you'll really enjoy the way he plays footy.
All right, it's exciting times at North Ringwood, obviously. I'm very keen to see how this game plays out. Thank you so much for dedicating a little bit of time to us in the preparation for such a big game. Robbie, thanks so much for joining us.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good call.
That was Robbie Nahas, the coach of North Ringwood. Very excited to hear about the players that he's rattling off. I've seen a bit of the footage. I know a little bit about who he's talking about, and of course, I'm very excited to see how they'll play out.
As a Tigers supporter, I'm very excited to see Robbie actually play.
Yeah.
Robbie's obviously seen him over the years in the yellow and black, and then obviously moved to North Ringwood, and I think he beat us in a elimination
he played
final.
for North Melbourne too.
North Melbourne 2015 knocked us off in a elimination final. But very excited to see how North Ringwood goes. As he said, it's a young side, and so's Bayswater, 2 young lists, and it's probably a credit to both sides to see where they are right now with 3 weeks to go, that both are in finals contention, where I don't think anyone else really thought Bayswater would certainly be near the finals, and I don't think many had North Ringwood up there, Ray.
No. Well, and when you look back at the start of the season that they've had, but as Robin said, the way they've built each week, even if they haven't won games, I would believe that they've got something out of each game, even the ones they've lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's very true. Should we jump back into the discussions about Division 3?
Yep.
There was only one game, I think, left over. It was Whitehorse versus Fair Park. Maybe just do a quick round of tips for this one. It's Fair Park season mathematically on the line. I don't think there's too much chance for them to make it to the finals, and Whitehorse, they're just fighting to survive in Division 3 at this point.
Yeah, I think Fair Park, their form over the last couple of weeks has been much better than what the Whitehorse has. So for me, Fair Park.
Yeah, Fair Park for me. The Oracle's actually gone Whitehorse on this one, but the Pioneers just completely out of form at the moment. Probably lost I think 6 or 7 in a row now.
Yeah.
I just don't see him pulling off. Fair Park are the better side.
Yep. I have to agree with you there. It's disappointing for Whitehorse, but it looks like they may end up taking the drop down to Division 4.
Next week's game against Coldstream, assuming Warrandyte beat Coldstream today, that probably decides it. There's a lot of pressure on that game, and one to keep an eye on next week.
Mm-hmm. And just looking at the Oracle, I see one specific score that takes me quite by surprise, and it's Sylvan 104 defeating Ferntree Gully 82. I'm not sure about that one, to be honest.
I'm not either, but in terms of the actual season, it would be a great result for us, and not that we're rooting for a side or not, but it would show that it's not just a 2-horse race, because at the moment we sort of said it's Donvale and Ferntree Gully, and then there's a big gap between 3rd and 4th. So if Sylvan do create the upset on the weekend today, then suddenly it becomes a little bit more open, and you can see a bit of an upset coming on preliminary final possibly.
It does make things more interesting, yeah.
Sorry, Jared.
Go on,
it's
John.
absolutely huge for Sylvan, coming up from Division 4, big season ahead of them. Yep. What are we going to make of them? How are they going to go? And they have well and truly proved themselves here in 2023.
Yeah, absolutely,
for sure.
They have, yeah.
So let's move on to Division 2. I think the best game up for discussion here is Templestowe versus East Burwood. It's a cracking clash between two teams that they have suffered a couple of defeats recently. Templestowe going down to Boronia, and of course Mulgrave not long ago either. And East Burwood taking the loss against Knox last week in a huge upset. Ryan, do you see East Burwood coming back into some form in this one, or is the addition of Mitchener and Fogarty a little bit too much there, given Templestowe's form when they're in the side?
Yeah, I actually considered tipping East Burwood before I knew the inclusions, obviously, for Templestowe. They're two very key players that they just had to have last week against out at Tormore if they have any chance of knocking off Boronia. So very good for the Dockers to have Mitchener and Fogarty back in the side. Giovanini comes back in the week after due to his suspension. So that they're starting to look a little bit better. Obviously, Batsanis with the hamstring injury last week. That's not ideal at the moment, but I guess that gives him an opportunity to coach from the sidelines and something new, taking over the role. I just think the whole coaching thing has come up at such a bad time for the club because they are so close towards a final series, and they are a contender if they're at full strength. So hopefully they're able to get back on track and sort of look ahead to September, because the double chance is something that they haven't locked up yet. They're sitting third at the moment. Waverley have got a good run home, so you expect Waverley to make it. And then Heathmont at the moment at fourth, which we'll get to in a second. Some injuries down there to worry about as well. But in saying that, I think they will win at home. But East Burwood, I mean, last week would have been disappointing, but over probably the last 2 months, they've still been a very good side. So I think this is a close one. I'm leaning towards the Dockers, though, maybe a 3 to 4 goal sort of margin.
We don't have Matt Spider-Lee on the panel currently. Ray, can you make a case, put your Spider hat on and make a case for East Burwood?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know much at all about East Burwood, because every time on Friday preview, Spider gets on about East. I go and mow the lawns, wash the car, and do the washing up. And then I come back and he's just about finished. But seriously, Templestowe, I just think that I rate them. I always have. As the season's gone on, they've dropped the game here or there, but getting those players back, I just think they're playing better football than East Burwood.
Everybody has their opinions about, the likes of Bo Mitchener and that sort of thing, but, having him in the side again today is just absolutely huge. And look, Tempe for mine, definitely. East Burwood have shown some good things throughout the season, as we've alluded to, but yeah, Tempe for mine, easy. So
we'll move on to maybe the next game, which will potentially be close. There's a potential upset, just given how this matchup played out last time, despite the clubs' respective positions on the ladder. Of course, that's Ringwood and Boronia. 1 point win to Ringwood last time, and that was at Tormore. They're now the Hawks now travel to Ringwood for this game. Ryan, can you make a case for Ringwood, or is the Boronia that we saw last week, are they just too strong, do you reckon?
I think they're too strong at the moment, and this is a very strong side when you bring back in Ryan White and Jess Bolton as well. So they're not missing a whole lot of players at the moment off the top of my head, and they take on Ringwood, who do have players missing at the moment. They've been one of those clubs who have been affected with the overseas travelling. So, it'd be very tough. They do have a great record against Boronia, probably ever since that grand final. After that, I think they've won 6 of the last 7 or something along those lines. So, I guess they've got the wood over them, but it'd be very tough this afternoon. And I just think Boronia are flying at the moment, and they're not a side that are just going to drop off because they've already locked up top spot. They're still going to want to play their best footy, and I think they will again today. So, I'm tipping the Hawks.
We alluded to on the podcast. We alluded to the Mulgrave South Belgrave situation. Ray, do you think Ringwood can be the Mulgrave to Boronia's South Belgrave of last year?
No, look, I think Boronia will win this. I think they'll win it by probably 12 to 15 goals even. I just think the big wide open spaces at Jubilee is not going to worry Boronia one iota. On a small ground, you might have a chance of closing them down, but when you've got wide open spaces like at Jubilee, I think Boronia are going to run riot today and just show us how good they really are.
Just looking at the scoreboard, Ringwood, not too bad last week against Mulgrave, and if not for some inaccurate kicking, obviously they had more behinds than the Lions. Look, they can, if they've improved their goal kicking in a matter of days, I guess, then they might be a chance. However, like we've all said, Baronia are going to be way too strong in this one.
Yeah, I think so. I think that everyone's probably leaning towards Baronia. And probably the other big game, Jared, is the Basin versus Heathmont. You wouldn't think it's a big game, but the fact that Heathmont have about 6 or 7 outs, I think Colombo, is Evans back in?
I think Evans was one of the ins,
Stevens is out.
Yeah. Finn Brown back out.
Finn Brown came out last week.
Yes.
One of the Burley brothers is out. So there's a lot of outs. And at Batterham, Ray, just a bit of a sneaky chance to the Basin. It's a danger game for the Jets with their with the guys that are of their talent that are out at the moment. They've got to really put in a good performance.
No, you're right. I'm picking in at the Basin, and even before all those ins and outs, I just think that they're due to take a scalp. And I think they'll win this.
It's a fascinating matchup, isn't it? Just given how this is one of those banana peel games that
banana peel games.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on that definition?
That is a game which should look easy on paper. However, there's always the chance for that slip up for the team that is the favourites. If that's good
enough for me, I reckon.
Okay, good. It's good enough for the listeners as well. Let's have a quick look at the Oracle and see where they put this one. Heathmont 52, the Basin 44.
Could see that.
Yeah, I could see that indeed. But as we move out of Division 2, let's get back to our Division 1 clash here with Bayswater and North Ringwood, and we welcome Mark Hardy, coach of the Bayswater Waters, onto the pre-game show. Mark, how are you doing?
G'day, lads. How you going? I'm good. All good.
That's good. So, how's the feeling around the club, surrounding this match, given the fact that it is pretty do or die this game against North Ringwood?
Yeah, well, I agree. It's exactly that. It's we've had a solid season without taking sort of the next step into breaking into the top 4 and 5. So a massive game it's a final for us. If we don't win, it's pretty much curtains for our season. So the build-up's been like that. But we've got to address things that we need to improve in every game. So if we can play some good footy and then still improve and not possibly get the result, well, it's still going to be it's forward for us. So it's not too bad.
One of the things that I've noted about Bayswater's season is the excellent continuity you've been able to have. I took account, and unless the website's lying to me, it seems like you've only fielded 30 players for the entire season, which is very, very impressive. A lot of teams do have injuries and absences and all that kind of stuff. How do you feel that has translated onto the field in the way you've been able to play and develop your game style?
Yeah, I think using 30 players, you'd like to get a few more wins than losses. But we've a pretty young list apart from the Galvins and a few of the other boys. So it's good to get the games into the kids. They're learning every time they play and developing. So if we can increase the list to 35 players able to play senior footy, plus the younger kids, it goes really well. So it's been going well with the younger boys. Hopefully, they just got to keep improving every week.
And I asked this question to Robbie not long ago when he was up here. We've not seen Bayswater for quite a while, not since I've joined the media team. Which players do you want to see get some exposure, to the fans, to the the internet at large who follow the EFNL, and who do you think deserves a little bit more credit coming from your squad?
That's a good. I'd love 22 players to get a little bit more exposure and play good footy. That means, good question. Obviously, our ruckman Timmy Castricum's playing is a young player. It's shown a lot of potential. Lockie Kruger, he plays in the middle, blonde hair. He's a little pocket rocket. Plays some really, really good footy. Matthew Higgins, number 11, he shows a lot. We've got a lot of guys. I think as a team, the fact that we haven't seen enough of the media team down here means we're not as relevant in the competitions we like to be. So for us, we need to win big games like this, push for finals and put ourselves on the map, and that's what we'll be aiming to do today. And
coming into the club this year, did you have expectations at the start of the season? I think all of us probably had you pretty low. I think we all had maybe 9th around that sort of area. So you've certainly surprised if you're in that contention, obviously, for a final spot if you win today. So, I mean, what do you expect coming to the club this year?
I'd seen a little bit of Bayswater play previously, and I knew that we're very young, and I don't think your expectations can't go past your first training session. So we broke it down to a solid pre-season. And then after that, if you put the right things in place, you're going to go reasonably well. So, because I didn't know completely what the cattle was like, but I've been more than impressed by how our footy club's been run with our president John Merry and Jason Gordon looking after the footy club. So I knew we're in a good spot there. And the playing list I've been really impressed by how respectful these young guys are. Old Bayswater was very blue collar, very maybe alcohol
rough around the edges.
Possibly,
is that a way to put
possibly.
it?
It's a little bit more cosmopolitan now. So our young guys are fantastic, and they've been a joy to coach. And I know they've got a lot of potential. Just got to believe themselves, and they can take the next step.
And for you, enjoying it at the back of the club, a premiership player here, how's the season been just for you, just to be around Bayswater Footy Club?
Yeah, on a personal level, I've always given 100% going to other footy clubs, but yeah, you always like to come home and know that you're contributing to your own footy club where you've had a little bit of success. So I don't think you can get too carried away with what you're thinking and feeling. It's everything about the boys, and we can only coach, and they go to work and they get to enjoy the spoils at 2:20 on a Saturday, which is what we all love. And I've enjoyed it. Hopefully we can keep improving. That's all I'm looking for.
Mark, you've coached, around the EFNL and also in other competitions as well. But have you ever had? Is this the youngest side you've coached? You would say?
2005 was pretty young because we had probably about 5 or 6 19s playing. But very young list. And I think you take it for granted that you think the guys know what they're going to do in certain situations, but it takes 20 and 30 games to understand how to play at senior level. Reserves level's a lot different. But very young list, Ray, very young.
And every time I've seen Bayswater, and as you know, I've seen a lot of them. Joel Galvin, he's been the engine room of Bayswater for so long. With these young guys coming in, have you sort of released him out of the middle at certain times to give the young guys a go?
Yeah, definitely. He's been forced out a little bit, in and out. He's obviously carrying a little bit of an injury every week, but he's still a quality player when he gets his hands on it. He's a lot bigger than when I first started playing footy with him. He was a very skinny young man, and he's been in a very, very solid paddock. But he still gives 110%. He loves to play footy, and he enjoys it when Bayswater get over the line, young Raymond.
Years ago in the media team, Ben Warren-Smith called you the Silver Fox, mate. But I noticed that the couple of games you played against Mirralbark this year, both were 1-point results. Are you tearing your hair out now these days?
Still got my hair, but I have noticed when you start being a senior coach again, and things aren't going well, you do tend to turn a little bit psycho. So you don't no problems in trying to remodel the coach's box, and but no, the hair is still a little bit grey, Ray. What can you do? Getting older, as are you, just quietly.
I know, mate.
That's right.
One of the things we've noted in our analysis of Bayswater is how you come to home games, and we're always pretty happy to tip you. History has shown that you guys play your ground really well. Is that something that you're conscious of as a coach, as a playing group? Is that something that you take pride in? How does that translate on the ground for you guys?
I think it's just with the inexperience of players, they feel more comfortable playing at home. Perfect example, we played away last week and on Croydon's big ground, and Croydon played some really good footy, but our guys look lost on an even bigger ground. So I think that's just a little bit of an immature sort of thing. Hopefully guys understand when they go to another footy ground, they can play the same way. Mm-hmm. But it's just maturity. I think we'll get better at that, but hopefully we play well today on our home ground and get the biggies. Mark,
you played a lot of footy yourself here at Bayswater Oval, mate, and I've got visions of you running through that turf wicket there in the middle, which was just mud and slush. The conditions these young guys get to play in, they're unbelievable, aren't they?
That's ridiculous, but the conditions that these boys get to play in is fantastic, and I can tell you right now, Raymond, I never ran through that centre of the ground. I'd always run around it, so you get some of the easier footy. But but the conditions are magnificent, week in, week out, and the boys get a bit upset about a bit of rain and a bit of wind, and it's a little bit cold. But the ground looks in magnificent condition. The centre's, it is what it is. They're blessed to have the conditions they have. And
how does it feel, given that this is the Premier Division ground? Like, does that translate at all for Bayswater as a club? Is that a point of pride, or is it just
definitely. I think we enjoy the fact that the best teams in the footy league come and play their finals here. At the same time, we'd like to be playing in those finals as well, and that's what we're striving to do. So we just love the council to come to the party and give us the appropriate upgrades to our rooms that would match the actual playing service, and we'd be right away. But no, we're very proud. It's a really good question because we're proud that they come to play here, and hopefully one day that our boys will be playing in the Premier Division as well.
Well, Mark Hardy, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking the time out on the eve of this imperative match for you guys to win. All the best for today's game.
Thank you, boys. I appreciate it. It's great to see you down here. Hopefully we can see you maybe for some finals and whatnot, but I appreciate the support, and hopefully Bayswater can be relevant in this competition. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, Mark. So that was Mark Hardy, coach of Bayswater. That was a good interview. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to him, and we'll wish him all the best for this game. I think both interviews were
just
were
on Mark
fun.
Hardy.
How long have you known?
What a fantastic footballer he was. He won best and fairest here. Vermont recruited him. He went down to Vermont. He won best and fairest down there. He was a ball carrier.
How many flags did he win in? Because he would have been in a cup.
Yeah, well, probably only one at Bayswater.
Funny enough, we were actually having a look at the Bayswater Facebook page yesterday in the office and looking at. Dean O'Neill loves to have a look through that.
He won one
and
at
look
Bayswater, which I'm pretty sure it was only one, and would have been in second division to get back up into first division.
Yeah, certainly so.
But
good to see that.
Vermont, he would have won a couple anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, we'll jump back into Division 2.
We were on 2.
So I think there's a couple of games there that are a little bit a fait accompli, so to speak. Mulgrave and Upper Ferntree Gully just tips around the table for that one.
Mulgrave.
Mulgrave. Indeed. And Knox Waverley Blues as well. I mean, this is a little bit more interesting. Knox coming off a very impressive victory there against East Burwood. I think Steve Buckle's really gotten his Chargers playing the way that he wants them to. However, they come up against a Waverley Blues that seem to be peaking at the right time.
Yeah, it'd be hard for Knox to pull 2 off in a row, but if they can, I mean, you can probably start to call them like the Giant Killers, because that was a big win last weekend, and they're playing a lot better in the second half of the season, and they've got something to play for because they're not out of the division yet. They can still jump the basin, so they play each other in the last round. So if they can pinch an upset before then, they'll probably go in as the favourites to stay in Division 2. And with a young group, and we spoke to Steve Buckle early in the year, and he knew it was going to take some time with a younger list, but if they can manage to stay in the division, I think there's something to really build on, Ray. Yeah,
exactly right. Look, he's on the right track down there, and good on Knox for signing him for another couple of years too, just a few weeks ago. Showing
some faith, aren't they? It's good to see. Jono, can you make a case for Knox in this one?
Well, probably not. I'd say that, as we've alluded to, the Waverley Blues, they've timed their run fantastically, similar to other clubs that we've spoken about this afternoon. And an away win's a good one, especially for the Blues.
And so we'll jump into Division 1 as well. Obviously, we've got this game here, Bayswater versus North Ringwood. We'll hold off on our thoughts for that one until we actually get into game time. We'll have a look at some of the other matches there. Perhaps the most interesting one for me is Montrose versus Beaconsfield. Beaconsfield, they're in good form. They're not smashing teams, but they can win an arm wrestle. Can they reduce this sort of a game to an arm wrestle, or will Montrose have it more on their terms, gents?
Well, I'm going to pick Beaconsfield. You know, as I've said many a time, and I'm going to upset the Montrose people again. I don't think that they play a style of football that's going to win them a premiership. But who am I to know? But that's only my opinion. And I love the way Beaconsfield go about it. Even though it's at Montrose, I think that won't worry. I think in a close one, I'm going to pick Beaconsfield.
I think it's important for their confidence if they can probably upset Montrose today. It probably shows that they can actually do some damage come finals time, because I think a lot of us probably look at the top 3 ahead of the 4th and 5th spots, and a win today would guarantee that they do play. They're not going to drop out. I've had a look at the run home. I've done it several ways, different ways. They will still make
ladder
it.
Calculator,
doesn't matter if they lose this afternoon, but in saying that, they would want it done now and not next week or the week after. They want to know that they're playing finals locked in, so they'll come out firing today. I'll tip Montrose, but I think another close one.
Jono, do you want to take the opportunity to tick off Blake Tennant?
That wasn't where I was going to go with, as a matter of fact, but shout out to Blake if he's listening in. Look, I reckon, Jared, as you introduce this game, I reckon you're diving right into the mind of Gary Ayres, because I reckon, no game is a certainty with him, right? And so he's going to certainly rally his troops to try and get the win here, and it will no doubt be an arm wrestle. I think for that reason, I think he'll be able to inspire the boys to get over the line, and I reckon the D's, they might just be able to register a win.
I
Bet
honestly,
you weren't expecting that.
No,
What's
to be honest, I
what's
think
the phrase Blake says? Here come the demons.
here come the Tros, I think.
Something like that. Thank goodness he's not on the boundary.
And it's been pointed out to me that on the screen we've got a young Blake Tennant, a photo of that. I believe that's going to be broadcast on our YouTube and Facebook streams. Very nice to see. So we'll move on from the Montrose game. For my part, I'm tipping Montrose in this one. I do think Beaconsfield will make it a close one. I wouldn't be too surprised if they got up and won, and I'd be very excited as well if the Eagles won this one, because it does mean the gap is the gap's a little more tight than what I would have conceptualized. Mooroolbark versus South Belgrave. I'm looking at the Oracle, and they're pretty kind to Mooroolbark. 77-88, South Belgrave win. I think it might be a little bit more than that, and that's no disrespect to Mooroolbark. It's more just how well South Belgrave have been going this year.
And they're going through the motions. That's all they do.
Yep.
They just have to. It doesn't matter if they win by a point. They'll just cruise along and they'll win. And as I said, they'll just win by not a huge margin, which could go to credit to Mooroolbark, but no, South Belgrave.
They're in the same boat as Baronia in Division 2, where they've locked up top spot. They're still going to play some good footy, and I still expect them to win all their remaining games, despite it not meaning anything on where they'll end up finishing on the ladder. But expect them to get the job done. If Mooroolbark can pull off an upset with their percentage, and another tough 2 games to follow, so it will still be hard. But if they pull off an upset, they're still in the hunt. Lose this today, and then North Ringwood win, they're out. Lose anyway, you're probably out, looking at the sides above them. So there's a lot on the line for them. At home at Heights Reserve, you'd give them maybe a slight sniff for an upset, but you just cannot tip against the undefeated side who are going through the motions.
I feel like looking at this game, I could rattle off a whole lot of footy cliches, and looking at the fact that, Tim Smith, booted 6 goals last week, was it?
Yep.
Right?
Yep,
I mean, so the old, probably tactical wise, for the Mustangs, they'll be looking to actually, try and obviously immobilise him, but then South Belgrave also has a lot of talent, like Tyrese Liu in the Carlton system. He's been involved with, obviously, but South. I mean, you can try and mount a case for Mooroolbark from that perspective, but to be honest, it's all roads are leading to South Belgrave at the moment, Jared.
You're not wrong at all. We'll do the quick tips around the table here for the last couple of Division 1 games, because we are starting to run out of time, and I do want to talk about Premier Division as well. But Mitcham versus Croydon, just quick tips for this one.
Mitcham.
Jono?
Tiggs.
Yep.
Mitcham for me.
And the last one, of course, Lilydale versus Wanturna South.
Yeah, Wanturna South at home.
South.
Devils.
Yep, and I have to agree with all 3 of you on both of those matches. We'll jump into Premier Division. I think the strongest match here in this one has got to be Vermont versus East Ringwood. Fascinating match, especially given the last time we saw both of them play. Not both of them play, sorry. The last time we saw this match up itself. 91-point margin, wasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Something like that.
I think they kicked 10 or 11 goals in that second quarter, did the Roos, and kept Vermont goalless, or scoreless as well in that quarter. So, the massive statement win earlier in the season. And at that time, Ray was saying Vermont, they're done. They may even get relegated at the end of the season if they don't pick up their slack. And since then, they've won 10 out of the last 11 and have become the number 1 side in the division at the moment. A game and percentage clear on top. So a win today would probably just about lock up that top 2 spot. So plenty on the line for them. And for East Ringwood, an upset here, I guess you can, I don't know if you even call it upset. I think this is going to be a really close game. But if they can pull off a win, then suddenly their chances of a top 2 is a lot more likely, because Rove will have a great run home. Vermont, obviously a percentage in the game ahead. It's going to be very tough if they lose this one to finish top 2. I think they'll miss out if they lose. Win, they stay alive, I think, Ray.
Yeah, well, you look at this game and you wonder, how can you pick against Vermont? But I'm going to do it. I saw East Ringwood first hand last week. I know Roval took them to the sword in the end, but there were some really positive sides there. And to me, Vermont have come from nowhere. And what do you say? It could be 10 in a row. They're going to drop a game. They're going to drop a game before the finals, and I think today could be the day. So I'm picking the Roos to get over the line today.
So it's interesting because at the end of the day, both of these teams will probably have the potential to end up meeting again in finals. So revenge might have to wait for Vermont if that tip comes true, Ray, for East Ringwood. The other game that I'm really intrigued in for Premier Division, Noble Park versus Park Orchards. This is a Noble Park that is clinging on to 6th spot on the ladder. They got quite lucky that Blackburn lost last week in an upset. Guys, do we think that Park Orchards have a shot at this one? Because they're in some good form.
Park Orchards are playing good football. They are really playing good football. And who would have expected Noble Park already dropped 4 games or something at the Bull Ring? I think they'll drop another one today. I think Park Orchards will get over them.
Yeah, that was my Super Boost roughie of the week yesterday.
Yep,
I think they're a big chance. The Oracle actually has tipped Park Orchards on this one. Just on the form at the moment, Noble can't score.
No.
I mean, that's their last probably 5 or 6 games since that Bourne one were out.
Yeah.
They've kicked no more than 8 goals in a game.
Yeah.
So that's a real worry now. And then Park Orchards, as Ray said, has found some serious form and some players who are playing really, really well at the moment. So I expect them to actually pull off an upset here.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one. I have to agree. I think Park Orchards are definitely a shot in this one. We'll jump around the other 4 games quite quickly. Rowville versus South Croydon next up. I would say Rowville probably have this one sewn up. South Croydon are in a world of pain right now.
The only thing, Rowville do struggle at South Croydon's ground. That's one, but I can't see them losing this game. Not on the form line of both sides.
No.
Rowville very
Yourself,
comfy.
Ryan? Yeah. No, that's fair enough indeed. Doncaster versus Blackburn. I think this is another in the string of losses for Doncaster.
Yeah.
Doncaster East versus Norwood. We've called this a danger game, I think, on the for Doncaster East, that is, on the podcast. Is there a shot for Norwood, gents?
There is, but Norwood's form has just been so unpredictable, and from week to week, they've had some different performances. When we watched them against South Croydon, they were pretty dominant, and I don't know if that said maybe more about the Dogs and the way they're going, or if it was a sign of what they can actually do. And we saw a couple of times early in season they beat Noble Park. They had another big win as well. So East Ringwood, they knocked off
East
the
Ringwood,
Roos.
yeah.
So they're just a mixed bag. So I'm tipping Doncaster East, thinking that the better side probably should win this one.
And Doncaster East play much better football at Zerby's Reserve as well. So Doncaster East for mine.
Absolutely.
I'd have to say Doncaster East as well. They're in some really good form. They're finals contenders. To drop a game against Norwood like that would hurt their credibility, I would say. And I think the last game that we've got is Berwick versus Baldwin, unless I've missed one out.
The Oracle has tipped Berwick to win this one at home.
Fascinated by that.
I mean, I don't think they will. I think the Tigers will win, but this will be a lot closer than what some people think, because Berwick are in some much better form, and the way they've eased into this season as well. Their last month of football has been pretty strong.
Yeah, look, I think Baldwin will win, but I will not be surprised if Berwick win.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I'll pick Baldwin. Yeah.
Yep, I have to go with Baldwin here, just on the sheer quality. I know Berwick's in a very good form right now, and they've really cemented their spot in Premier Division for next year. It seems like they have. But that is it for the pre-game show. We are wrapping up here, and
good work, Jared. The hosting chair today.
I appreciate that. It was a lot of fun to get the coaches in and have a chat to them. But on the other side of this break, we'll be right with you with the Bayswater versus North Ringwood game from Bayswater Oval.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in, because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
There's no mystery about our pricing. It is clearly displayed on our website and our app. We have staff standing by 24 hours a day, every day of the year to assist you in your absolute time of need.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet. Pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Baroni Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season. Bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Bayswater Oval for the Eastland Match of the round 16 this season in the 2023 Eastland season. We're here for the Bayswater versus North Ringwood game. Season on the line for Bayswater. They lose, they'll be out of the race for the top 5 spot in finals this year. And if they win, it's going to be a very interesting finish with North Ringwood at the moment holding that 5th spot. 2 sides we haven't seen for a match of the round in quite some time. I'm Ryan Long, who will be calling alongside Jared Beanlin, who's just behind me at the moment, and Ray Baird as well in the special comments. Ray, a massive game for both sides, and pretty exciting to be down here on a beautiful day at Bayswater Oval. Haven't been here for an actual home and away season game for quite some time.
No, yeah, and what a beautiful day for football. If you can't play football in this weather, you shouldn't even be trying. But no, and the crowd's starting to build up. You know, they're getting another second ring of cars around the ground. That just show. I think it's a very important game, as you said, to both sides. You know, a lot to play for, and you know, we spoke to both coaches. Both coaches realise that they've got young sides in today, and so you know, it all things looks good.
I'm fascinated to see how this game plays out. Thanks for the introduction while I was away from the proceedings. Honestly, a fascinating match here. I've had a look at the stats, and the thing that stood out to me, just having a look at the champion data stats, Bayswater, they play a very controlled brand of footy. They love to mark. They love to use the short chipping ball. They love the uncontested marks. They are top of the league in uncontested marks and marks inside 50, which is honestly fascinating to see, especially since we haven't seen Bayswater in quite a while. How do you think that'll play out in this sort of, I don't know, in a game against a team that is a more sort of more of a clearance-based team, a team that defends well, however, is looking to bring a bit more of a running style of play to this match?
Well, I think Robbie Nutters said it pretty well that they've been a really defensive side, North Ringwood, Ray, and that's been a common trend across the season, and they're not going to score big, so you'd imagine this could be maybe a 10 or 11 goal game where they could win it off, you know, winning just less than 12 goals, still winning the game. I think they did that last time the two sides met, so expect sort of a similar thing, a little bit of a low-scoring game, but, I mean, they've got the midfield to do it. It's a very young side. They've got Ben White out there, who's been a phenomenal star, obviously, through his junior career, and then coming to the senior side as been fantastic. Mags comes in there. Obviously, you've got the Gelvin boys who are still playing some really, really good football despite their age. I don't know how old they are now, Ray, but they've played some.
I'm not going to guess that one.
No, you're not. But they're still playing some really, really good footy at the moment, and even someone like a Lachlan Kruger can certainly have an impact, and Castricum in the ruck as well has played some good footy as well. So look, it'll be very interesting, and that's one of the areas of the game I think Bayswater might do quite well. As we're going to go boundary side for the first time because John O'Van and Dylan Smith is down on ground level. Boys, how are the conditions out there? Sun is shining. Any wind to be spoken about?
Thanks very much, Ryan. Look, in terms of wind, and like you said, it is an absolutely perfect day. I reckon it's going to be an on and off type day. I mean, those who have watched Match of the Round when I'm boundary riding, I'm always telling you if the wind's on and off, and you may have seen just on screen here, my associate Dylan has done the Matthew Lloyd technique, albeit on a much lesser scale. Dylan, welcome to the broadcast, and congratulations on the game this morning. Hopefully that went well for you. Describe what you just did then and indeed the wind conditions.
To be honest, it wasn't a great grass toss. I didn't get enough elevation, so I couldn't really test the wind properly, but I think it's going to the right of screen a little bit. I did just put up some of the goalpost padding there, so I got to case the ground pretty well. It's quite dry around the wings and the forward lines for both teams, but it's really, really sort of mucky in that middle section, so that could come into play, especially in the midfield.
I mean, I suppose, gents who live out in the eastern suburbs, you can tell us, was there a fair bit of rain during the week overnight? Do you reckon that probably has a factor to play in today's game?
I don't know, I was asleep, but
overnight, I'm sure. Ryan, good on you.
I don't know if it rained actually that much, I think actually it should be pretty good conditions out there. Obviously the middle, it's quite muddy there, but besides that, it's in very good shape, and we've been to a lot of grounds this year where it isn't the case, and I think today's actually a good example of a ground that's holding up well.
It's going to be one of those local footy affairs with a muddy centre wicket, as is the case here. But looking forward to the game, boys. It's going to be a great one.
Absolutely. Thanks there to Jono and Dylan, who'll be keeping us updated across the afternoon. A bit of a smaller team. We've got those two on the boundary and then the three of us up here. But we might as well get some tips, and we actually probably should keep them there while we've still got them. Jono and Dylan at the moment. Your tips for this game, a winner and a margin? Yeah, you jumped me to the gun on that one, but I am tipping North Ringwood as well. I think just on form, they're playing a bit better. So North Ringwood I only think it'll be a 2 or 3 goal game.
Yep.
Ray, your thoughts on this one?
I'm going with North Ringwood as well. I just think they'll have a little bit too much run for the Bayswater side.
I'm going to have to be the contrarian on the media team. We do need a Bayswater tip. I was thinking Bayswater coming into this game. I was thinking if this was played at Quamby, definitely would go North Ringwood.
Yeah.
Given that it's at Bayswater, they play this ground really well, and they're going to be desperate because this is season on the line stuff for the Waters. So I've got Bayswater in this one.
The thing on this ground, boys, and I've seen a lot of football played on this ground, you can kick goals from the boundary line, say in front of the scoreboard over here to the left. It's very wide open pockets.
Yeah, it definitely is. And just on the first half, very important for Bayswater to have a better start. They did not kick a goal in the first half against Croydon last week and only had the 7 behinds. And obviously Mark Harder did say that a different ground, they didn't adapt to it very well, so they know this ground very well. Of course, this season they've played some good footy here, so I expect them to be fined as we go boundary side again to John O'Van, I think he's calling out to us.
Thanks, Ryan. We've got a toss result, and Bayswater have won the toss and will kick to the right of screen/radio dial.
So that's towards the Mountain Highway or Bayswater Hotel end, and to the left of us is the Canterbury Road end, boys, officially.
Thank you very much, Raymond.
Off to the Baysy Hotel after, Ray?
No,
you drop
not
in
there,
there?
mate.
Big game ahead this afternoon, North Ringwood versus Bayswater. But in terms of the season, both sides have surprised us a little bit in the way they've performed. They've probably outdone their expectations. Certainly Bayswater, having a look at where they were last year and what we all predicted. So massive game ahead. And then looking at the calculations, Jared, ahead of this game and sort of working out the who can make it and whatnot. If North Ringwood win today, Bayswater out of the running. Mooroolbark lose as well, which they're playing South Belgrave, so expect them to. They would be out of the running. But then the only other side would be in contention is Wantirna South, who you would expect them to beat Lilydale today, but their form is really, really poor at the moment.
Absolutely.
So win this today, North Ringwood, probably playing finals.
No, I'd have to agree with that. They do play Wantirna South coming up within the next couple of rounds as well. So that if Wantirna South do continue to win, they'll beat Lilydale, we expect, and then I think they've got another 50-50 game. I can't remember exactly who it's against. I think it might be against Bayswater, actually, Wani South.
Yes, they do play each other again.
So if Wani South are able to win that, then that sets up a really interesting clash against North Ringwood. I believe that'll be the last round.
It is the last round, so that's fantastic to sort of see, because it really will be interesting to see how it plays out. And then obviously the other way around, if Bayswater wins, I'm not going to go through all the options because it will certainly open it all up, and then Mooroolbark could still be in the running. Wantirna South will still be in the running. Bayswater, of course, will still be in the running. North Ringwood will remain in 5th position, but it will certainly be a lot more interesting on where where it ends up in the top 5.
And that's where that draw comes in real handy there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's as we said, percentage was probably their biggest problem, or their biggest issue, North Ringwood, with only 92%. So taking that out of the equation now, it suddenly, it doesn't matter. They can, they just got to finish in the top 5. But here we go for the start of the match. Jared Beanland to take us away.
So on the tap down there was Jackson, but it's a clearance there for Bayswater, getting it out of the centre there. I think that's Galvin booting it forward. Good intercept mark taken, however, by Joel Nathan, one of the ins for this game. And he's going to be searching it around. Oh, that's a bit of a poor kick there off the boot. Bayswater will try and capitalise on that. It's come out there to Searle, who's kicked it towards the boundary line in the pocket. It was a bit of an indifferent kick, and North Ringwood will take it away. Good punch over the top, however, just stopping that run there. That was well done, I believe, by Treby. And so we'll get a boundary throw in Bayswater's forward line to start this match here at Bayswater Oval. Castricum went up, got the tap down. A couple of Saints players there just piling on top of it. At the bottom of it was a Waters player. Up they get. That is Joel Galvin indeed, the veteran. Jackson taps it down for the Saints. However, it's a quick kick towards the goal square for Bayswater. North Ringwood with composure and with Nahas, he's just going to step it over. And that's just the one behind for Bayswater. Will get a kick in. Ryan Long to take us away.
So Bayswater on the scoreboard first. One behind. North Ringwood yet to score. A minute 20 into this game on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as Robbie Nahas gets past one there and takes a bounce. He'll look to clear out their back half. Looking for a play. Bayswater there in front position, almost taken by McInerney. Dropped the mark and then brought into a tackle. So we'll get a ball up on that far side where most of the play has been in the first couple of minutes of this game. Ball up there, out of the ruck. Castricum got it down to a North Ringwood player actually in Brothnell. And they go backwards as well, handballing off to a teammate there in Robbie Nahas, the coach. Short kick finds Jackson. And they've done well here to steady. Under the pump early in the first couple of minutes. What a season they've had, North Ringwood. Coming down from Premier Division this year. Short chip finds another target. They look to switch the play now. They've got a player out here in Van Noonen, Dylan Van Noonen. Got the two Van Noonens out there today. Handballed over to the top to a teammate running by. And got some players out here on the broadcast side. One of them there in teal. Handball over the top. Pass it to a teammate. And they've got able to link up, or caught in the tackle there was Brothnell. Advantage play on. 25 goes inside 50. Almost mark taken out the back. And Bayswater might be able to clear this up through the hands there of Searle. And they look to clear it out now. Hasbrook on towards the half forward or half back line for Bayswater. It's cut off, and now North Ringwood. They're fighting over it themselves. Jackson almost took it off the second grab, but they seem to have all the numbers at the moment. Passed off there by Payne. Got it off to Whelan. Jack Whelan lines up a long kick towards the top of the square, and it's a mark.
Yeah.
So North Ringwood will have the chance to kick the first of the game here in the Eastland Match of the round.
Just a lack of pressure there by Bayswater on that kick inside 50. Something that I noted when I was looking at the footage against Croydon. Their pressure game just wasn't all there.
So Matthew Cullinan will line up here pretty much on a slight angle about 15 metres out, so should kick this one, and he eases it home. So North Ringwood on the board, 1 straight 6 to Bayswater, 1 behind. We've gone 3.5 minutes into this first quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
I think you'll find that's some of the play that North Ringwood will do. The big boy McCullum in there in the goal square, he's so much bigger than his opponent. I think they'll just bomb the ball into him. But Jack Whelan got that ball around the 50-metre mark. There was great pressure there around that area by Bayswater, but as I said, the kick in, the forward was just too tall for them.
So back into the centre there. North Ringwood on the board very early here at Bayswater Oval. Up goes Castricum, gets the tap down, but it's the Saints with the clearance. Once again, it comes out to Flynn. High ball inside forward 50. Nearly a punch over the top there by McInerney. It's going to fall out the back here now to Law, but picking it up there was Braunthal. His kick was cut off, however. Good mark taken by Cameron McLeod. And so he's going to try and take the Bayswater out of defensive 50. Good mark by Kruger. Finds the man running past. It's Hasbrook. Hasbrook sees Jared Cameron in the forward line. Running after it is Nahas. He just worked Cameron over, but Cameron had help. Help in the form of Galvin. This is Bryce with a shot at goal, but it just sailed left. And the 1 behind for the Waters. So they move to 0-2-2. North Ringwood, 1 straight 6. 5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Robin Nahas, he walked up then and there was big Bryce Galvin standing there about 3 times his weight.
Well, what did he say in the pre-game? He said he wasn't going to worry about getting any contact.
No, that's right.
So Robbie Nahas
that
bring
was
it
great.
out.
That was great transition from Bayswater after that goal by North Ringwood there.
Yeah, it certainly was. Just the 2 minor scores for them. North Ringwood with the opener through Cullinan as Nahas goes the same way he did last time on the kick out. Almost taken by Jaden Van Noonen. Out the back, it works out all right. He's Livingston who got the ball on the boot. That's one that Nahas said to watch out for today. But a free kick here going towards Bayswater for a high free kick. And they're off straight away. Target there in Hasbrook. In the middle of the ground for the Bayswater Football Club. Had a good season so far, and he sends them long into attack. A player out the back might be able to take a mark. It fell through his hands. Player there in Schroeder got the handball out. In the pocket here, Cotty got his handball just. North Ringwood's pressure has been pretty good. A handballer there to Whelan. Passed it off to a player running by, and they've got some players open again. It's not the first time this has happened already, so they're off here. The handball from Shepherd gets it off to Meikle. And he'll look to send North Ringwood inside 50. It's a bouncing ball, trapped well, passes it over the top to Flynn. Flynn's shot on goal, if it holds its line, will be there. And North Ringwood have the second. 2 straight 12 to Bayswater, 2 behinds. 6 minutes gone in this first quarter.
Bayswater have left the corridor open then. North Ringwood had 2 options then in the corridor, and they went from the flank to the corridor. Easy goal.
Yeah, well, so many plays out on this side free, and they just can't afford to let that happen, especially coming back off the kick.
And now that's twice that's happened. And not only one, they had 2 or 3 players, 2 or 3 options they could have given it to. That back 6 there would have to tighten up for Bayswater.
So we'll be back into the centre here. Ringwood pushing their advantage very, very early on. It's only 7 minutes gone already. They're 2 goals up. So up we go again. Castricum with the tap down. He's been winning that ruck battle so far, but a free kick's been given away in the centre, and it's going to go the way of Cameron. This is Tom Cameron. So just weighing up his options. Goes a little short pass there to, I believe this is Cott. No, but the looks of it says Young, Alex Young. So he's taking a little bit of time there to make his decision. Goes over to Hasbrook. Hasbrook now has a man out wide. This is John Stewart. So he goes for a bit of a jog. Sends a high ball inside forward 50, top of the goal square there. North Ringwood having to defend well. Schroeder's in there. Castricum as well. Gets to the kick. Gets to the handball off to Schroeder, who tried the kick over their head. But it's just the 1 behind. The 3rd behind for Bayswater. And they are down to North Ringwood.
That shot for
12.
goal, that kick come out of nowhere. He was surrounded by opposition players, and he was looking away from the goal, straight on his boot over his head.
Well, certainly would have been the Tobin Brothers goal of the day contender already.
You can see Bayswater are very reluctant to kick it long into the forward line because I think the back 6 for North Ringwood are just too big for them.
So there's Nahar's kick out of the back line stopped up here on the half-back line now. We'll get a ball up. Beautiful day here at Bayswater Oval. Perfect conditions. Tap down there by Cullinan from the Saints. Bit of a scrap here. Jumping on top there was Jaden Van Oonen to wrap his opponent up, and we'll get another ball up in the same spot. Right on the arc here at Bayswater Oval, the Bayswater forward 50. Here's a chance now through Kruger. Gets a bit of space. Looks to go on his right. Kick inside was smothered. Dangerous ball here for North Ringwood, but they've got enough players to clear this up. Van Oonen came off the side of the boot. Just gets to his teammate. That worked out really well in the end to Jackson, and they link up, and this is what they've done really well so far. Here's Teal. Passed it off, and now they're inside 50. If they can get a mark here, it's a bouncing ball. Trapped by the North Ringwood player there in Law, who sends him inside 50. A mark in the pocket, almost dropped through the hands of Livingston. And the umpire has said it was out of bounds, so we'll get a boundary throw in inside 50 for North Ringwood. Their transition game has been really strong in the first couple of minutes.
Indeed it has.
There were so many options coming out of defence. You know, there was handball after handball, but there was 2 or 3 options every time.
Bayswater having to defend pretty grimly here. They've had a couple of opportunities going forward, not capitalised, but North Ringwood's definitely looking like the better team with ball in hand. So the throw-in comes. I think that was O'Donnell wrapped up there by Mags. And we'll get another ball up there in North Ringwood's forward line.
Robin Yaha's playing full back, but he's in his sides forward 50.
You'll have to see the opportunistic type of play by Nahas. So Cott from that clearance was taken high by Jaden Van Oonen.
Coddy's the kicker.
Coddy gets it over to Galvin. This is Bryce. A good kick there. The man out the front there, and it's going to be a goal to Schroeder. Bayswater get on the board.
Yeah.
Let's go down to the boundary line with John O'Ven.
From a football purist perspective, I would probably nominate that one as an early one for Tobin Brothers' goal of the day, based on how well that kick was. That was that man there. Who was it, boys?
Galvin to Schroeder in the end.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, Galvin and Schroeder that's their goal. You know the old phrase, that was your goal instead of the actual bloke that actually kicked it. In that case, that was just champagne footy right there.
Well, he had to certainly kick it well. Inside 50 for him. He was all by himself, and that was a good finish there for Bayswater off the transition. 1-3-9, trail North Ringwood 2 straight 12. We've gone 10.5 minutes into this first quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Back in the middle now again. The ruck battle there. Cashman got the hit out, but went straight to a North Ringwood player who end up going forward here, the Saints. They end up inside 50. Now's a chance there for Livingston. Pass it over the top. Found your teammate there in Milne. Gets past a few and then puts the ball on the boot. There's Bayswater numbers down back, and one of them's McInerney to take the mark on the last line of defence. He'll short kick and play on straight away and finds a target there in the back pocket.
So Bayswater to transition out of defence here. How well can they do this? Can they do it as well as North Ringwood have? Well, Castricum down the line. Couldn't quite take the mark. Ball in dispute. North Ringwood will pounce. Ball still in dispute. Good stuff there by Schroeder. Crashing in. Putting his body on the line. But not doing anything with it in the end as he was wrapped up. Ball up over there on the outer wing. So ruck battle again. Cullinan versus Castricum. And the ball's going to trickle towards the line here. Trying to keep it in there was Hasbrook. He ended up laying the tackle on Jaden Van Oonen. And it looks like it was 25 there. So it was a holding the ball decision. And then I don't think the ball came back to Hasbrook quick enough. So it's a one-on-one there from the kick. Inside forward 50. Treby's just fighting for it. But North Ringwood had reinforcements. Bayswater scrapping for it. At ground level, Treby's in there again, laying the tackle. And the umpire's going to come in and ball it up there. Just in the forward line for Bayswater. Not making the most of these entries just yet. Oh, out of the ruck there. Galvin swings it onto the left, and it's going to sail out in the full. So unfortunate there for Bayswater. They are peppering a little bit early on.
So Nahas will take this kick in the back pocket at the moment. Coming up to the 13-minute mark of this first quarter. Bayswater 1-3 to North Ringwood 2 straight. Thanks for joining us on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM, or if you're watching on our Facebook and YouTube streams, you will be able to see that it is a great afternoon here at Bayswater Oval. The sun is shining. hopefully that stays out for the rest of the afternoon and we have a great contest at hand. A lot to play in this game. As the ball's cleared out by Nahas, Cullinan's at the centre of it. A big pack of players and took the mark. Strong hands, and the big fella has had a good start to this game. He goes down the line. Jumping in there was a Bayswater player, and a strong hands there by Hoare, who send them inside 50 again. Bayswater the kick. It's a 1-on-2 contest. Robbie Nahas there, almost taking the mark. And we'll get a ball up on the half-forward flank here for the Bayswater Footy Club. 3-point game at the moment. North Ringwood leading. Tapped out there by Jackson for the Saints. Got it down to Jack Whelan, but the boundary line beats him. And we'll go boundary side to our boundary rider in John O'Ven.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Just a little bit of a comment on the weather for those who may not be watching on YouTube and Facebook. There is a bit of cloud cover on the other side of the ground, but it'll probably be missing us. It's not quite going right over and probably won't pay that much of a factor in this game.
So from the ball in, a tackle was laid, and we'll get another ball up. That was Jack Whelan laying the tackle there. He's in just about everything for North Ringwood this year. He's had such a great year. So from this ball up, taking the possession there and being tackled was Mitch Tsertsikos holding the ball, and it was Jack Whelan laying the tackle again. So he's going to look for the corridor here. He's got a man in Shepherd who's going to take the easy grab. Bayswater not defending the corridor particularly well this game. He's got a man on the outside now and just trying to find his way there. Gives the handball off, and it's ended up with Nahas inside forward 50 for North Ringwood. The target led up to it. Didn't take the mark. Milner's in there, but Bayswater regained possession of the ball, and Searle, well, he just turned it straight over.
Out on the off, was it? Or is
no,
it
it can't
kick
be.
Downfield?
Must have been a free kick down the field. So Dylan Van Noonen thought he had it.
Yeah.
And downfield, so it's going to go to Cameron McLeod. He's going to chip the ball over. And this is Young. So this is the controlling style of play that Bayswater like to make use of. But North Ringwood cutting off the options. And from that kick, it was Whelan again to break things up, and we'll get a boundary throw in out in the outer wing. 15 and a half minutes gone. Bayswater 139, North Ringwood 2 straight 12. And a do-or-die clash for Bayswater. White got the clearance but was tackled, and it's holding the ball, so he took on the man there, and that man was Braunthal. Braunthal sees his coach Nahas running for him on the outer side. Good kick and a mark there to Nahas. So he's going to load up. What does he see inside forward 50? Well, he tried to get around the man. He just did. He just shrugged the tackle of White. High ball towards the pocket there. Where's the Flyers for North Ringwood? It's come to ground there. Flynn is fighting for it. Trying to wade his way through there. High ball once again. The pack flies. Shepherd was there. He couldn't take the mark. And Bayswater, they have to be composed in this situation because they're under a heap of pressure. They've given it up. Well, they've given it to Young. He was tackled. And North Ringwood will lock it inside there, forward 50.
So we'll get a ball up here inside 50 for North Ringwood. 16 and a half minutes gone in this first quarter. They lead by 3 points at the moment. 2 straight to 1-3. White got the handball over the top, and Bayswater will see the boundary line here as their friend. We'll get a boundary throw in on that far side. Still inside 50 here for North Ringwood, so an opportunity for them to score, but Bayswater have flooded numbers back, and you just saw in that last contest, a lot of pack of players, a lot of them in the green and yellow. Ball brought back into play. There's Jack Whelan. May have got one high, got the handball off to a teammate there in Braunthal, who goes back to Nahas. He's had plenty of it early. Kick inside 50, punched from behind there by Searle. Grabbing it there was Flynn. Got it over the top, and here's White for Bayswater, who picks that up and clears it out for Bayswater. Big pack of players. Jackson there, almost taking the mark for North Ringwood. Instead, it's Gelvin to pick it up. Got the ball in the boot just, but it was smothered. Grabbing it now is Hasbrook, and he's caught by Jack Whelan and not going anywhere, so we'll get a ball up on... No, it's a free kick, so that's holding the ball, so Jack Whelan will be able to send North Ringwood back into attack again. Got a player in front, almost taking that was... I believe Livingston fell at the back, and he is now Livingston, who snaps that goal and finishes it. Brilliant finish, and North Ringwood have their third. 3 straight, 18 to Bayswater 139. So a great finish there, and that was Livingston. It went over the top and just was able to receive it back from Patterson, who was in the right position, and a great finish in a tough angle, Jared.
It's no wonder to say why Robbie Nahas was excited for us to see Livingston. He's looked very handy, very likely early on in the game, and definitely gets credit for that goal. That was a good opportunistic snap there to put North Ringwood's third on the board. Ticking towards time on here as the ball goes up in the centre of the ground. Whelan was tackled by Mags, and it's going to be a ball up once more. Bayswater 139, North Ringwood 3 straight 18 and a half minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Tap down, finds White, but it's North Ringwood through Braunthal to try and get it out of there. That was Whelan. He gave it up to White and was holding the ball. Bayswater to take advantage. Was that? It might have been ill-advised, but Kruger makes sure it wasn't. His kick inside forward 50 was cut off there by Joel Nathan, and he's going to find Braunthal on the outer side. Little chip over there to Payne. He gave it up, however, as he was tackled. Galvin now hands it to Cott. And Cott in the middle of the ground finds a teammate there. He's going to switch it up. It wasn't a great kick at all. He was trying to find McLeod. McLeod hands it off. Forward handball there from him. But it's in dispute now. North Ringwood pounce. Nahas is there. Whistle's gone. We'll see which way this goes. It might be North Ringwood.
North Ringwood holding the man.
Holding the man. It was indeed. So the free kick taken by Leach. And he's kicked it out. I think this is Joel Nathan, actually. And he's found his coach in Nahas. Nahas chips it over.
I think we've got a bit of confusion because he may have been changed the number to 39, but there is still 13 there. So I think that is Antil in the 39, I believe.
It seems like that's the way. So Nahas with the ball. Little chip. Finds Van Unen. This is Jaden. Slow play for North Ringwood. Bayswater trying to clog up the corridor as much as they possibly can. It's been one of their weaknesses throughout the game today. Kick by Van Unen, goes for the pack, but good mark taken by Burke. And he was one of the late ins, Jake Burke, so he's going to go the corridor. Bit of a risky one, but it's paid off there. And 25 metre penalty given away as the mark was taken there by Joel Galvin. And so he's going to take the free kick, heading towards the forward line. Whistle again, and another 25 has been given away. And it looks like it's on Jack Whelan. So let's go to the boundary line real quick.
Outstretched arm from the umpire may have indicated a bit of abuse or something. I'm not sure, because consecutive 25-metre penalties, that can happen.
That is pretty shocking there from North Ringwood. Not what you want to see when they've been in control, at least on the scoreboard so far. And they've given an opportunity here to a veteran of the game. This is Joel Galvin, one of the champions of Bayswater over the years. Should rest well on his boot. However, it's just skewed off to the left. And another behind for Bayswater. They are wasting some of these opportunities. 1-4-10 to North Ringwood. 3 straight 18. 21 minutes gone in this first quarter.
That would have been a handy goal for Bayswater late in the quarter.
Yep.
Well, they've certainly been in the contest, 1-4-3 straight, so they've had more opportunities, but North Ringwood, every time they've gone forward, they've been able to capitalise. So Nahas finds Van Unen, Dylan Van Unen, who goes back to Nahas and then finds a target in Jaden Van Unen. Still at the half-back line at the moment. They've done well. They've been pretty patient clearing their back half, and it's usually worked out pretty well, and he finds a target there in Jason Sharp.
Whelan.
Sideways, and he goes here to Whelan.
Well done, Kruger.
He was well done by Kruger there, as Jared said, to spoil that one, and the Saints still end up coming out with the ball, so now they're a chance, and they've got some players. It's a 2-on-1 contest. One of them, Shepherd, who punched it in front, and his teammate there might be able to run onto it, just couldn't quite pick it up. Did well enough in the end, did Leach, but he was caught, but just got his handball away, and now a shot on goal was smothered, almost there by, well done by Searle to smother that one, because running into an open goal was Sam Law, so a goal-saving smother.
Yeah, well done to the Bayswater backline then. There was 2 opportunities that they've shut down.
Well, they're under a bit of pressure at the moment. Big tackle there on Braunthal, and he's been awarded a free kick, I believe, for a high tackle.
Yeah. And you can kick goals from this position, as I said earlier.
You certainly can. So they've been pretty accurate in front of goal at the moment. 3 straight. It's 1-4, as we said, coming up to the 23-minute mark of this first quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This will be a tough kick. Certainly well and truly in his capabilities. Jackson Braunthal will come in, lessens the angle, and that one won't quite make it. Still in play here, so Bayswater got to do well to kill this ball. Ball hits the deck, and we'll get a ball up right in front of the goal square here for North Ringwood. Just a quick score around the grounds. South Croydon 4-1 to Roval 2-1 out at Cheong. And then Berwick versus Baldwin 2-1 to 2-2.
The umpire was very kind in letting you have that time to read off the scores because he delayed the ball up there. So North Ringwood laying the tackles there on Bayswater. It was good stuff there by Meikle. In and under stuff there on Galvin. So another ball up. Powering through comes, I think that was Hasbrook, but he managed to find the boundary line, and it'll be another ball in there in North Ringwood's forward line. Let's see if they can continue to be efficient in front of goal and opportunistic, or will there be a rebound? So there is another tackle laid, another ball up.
Gee, there's a lot of players around that football.
There are.
Have a look.
They are like seagulls, as my old else kick coaches used to say. So in and under there. Stubbs is the one that ended up with it. He tried to skewer a kick around the corner, but it's just gone out in the full, or it might have been smothered. And
another throw in.
Another throw in. So
yeah, North Ringwood just need to get a couple of players out of there. You know, if they can drop 2 players back, just gives another opposition if the ball does come out there.
Yeah, they could concede the clearance and then just come back in. So it doesn't look like they want to do that. So Stubbs got to Van Union, and his target was Cullinan. It was a really good little chip there. He knew that Cullinan was around about there, and that he was the most likely man to mark it. So it felt pretty safe to just stick it on the boot.
Well, it helps with his height. Look at the height difference on some of those Bayswater players around that contest. Certainly does help.
It's almost looking like Tom Hawkins against some of his opponents, isn't it?
It does a little bit.
So Cullinan for his second of the game. It'll be his 10th for the season, and North Ringwood's 4th. Do the numbers line up?
Just missed.
Not quite. So just the one behind. North Ringwood pushed to 3-1-19. Bayswater 1-4-10. 25 minutes gone.
Obviously no Paddy Rose out today, so he will be very key there, Cullinan, to put on a few goals for North Ringwood as Bayswater look to clear it out. The pass there from Burke to turnover, and then Jack Whelan just got his handball. It was cut off there by McLeod. Bit of a scrap right in front of us on the broadcast side, and it is run out of bounds, so we'll get a boundary throw in. Jack Whelan's had a fantastic start to this game. We said he's been the star of the North Ringwood side. There's a few out there. Robbie Nahar has pointed out a couple in Livingston, and also Harry Flynn, the youngster there, as the ball brought back into play, and out the back they've got some numbers. Brawthnell got the handball and he receives it again. The kick down the line is going to be a turnover. Bayswater have got some numbers. They're well set up behind the play there, and Schroeder, short kick, finds a target. Aaron Cotty, not Aaron Cotty actually, it was Thomas Cameron. Got his kick there to McLeod, and they're off now through the middle of the ground. Mags is there. If they can get it to him, he'll pick it up now from a handball. Handball over the top to a player who was almost caught and did very well, did McInerney. Shot on goal will hold its line, and that's a beautiful finish. And McInerney puts Bayswater second on the board, 2-4 to 3-1. Come up to the 27-minute mark, and that tackle almost was laid there. It was a big chance for maybe even an intercept, but was able to steady, and once he had that shot on goal, he was never going to miss, was he?
But North Ringwood made him work for it. Well, there would have been 5 hand passes there, all under pressure. But every time they handballed it, they worked the ball forward. There was no backwards hand passing.
So we go boundary side to John O'Vent.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Jared, you know, you mentioned the whole thing about having the Seagulls to a chip type mentality, but the fact of the matter is it actually worked for Bayswater there. Not, 90 seconds to 2 minutes ago, we saw them all in there, and the transition ball, it worked.
So from the clearance there, Bayswater got it into their forward 50, but the mark's been taken by Nathan. He got it off to Shepherd, and that'll do us for the first quarter here at Bayswater Oval. A fascinating Division 1 clash. Hasn't quite opened up yet. It's been very back and forth. Currently it's Bayswater 2-4-16 to North Ringwood 3-1-19. Ryan, who are the goal kickers for this game so far?
The goal kickers in the first quarter for Bayswater, Scott McInerney with the last one just there a minute ago, and Hayden Schroeder with the other one. For North Ringwood, all single goal kickers to Livingston, Flynn and Cullinan. It is quarter time here for the Eastland match of the round out at Bayswater Oval. North Ringwood 3-1-19 lead the Waters 2-4-16.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The first time I met the team at Tobin Brothers Funerals, I felt like I'd known them for years. They're so caring, honest and passionate. James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, sums it up best when he says,
Every day our people get out of bed to assist client families in their absolute time of need. Our people love what they do, and you will not find a more highly trained group of people than those at Tobin Brothers.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Bayswater Oval for the Eastland Match of the round out here. Bayswater versus North Ringwood, and at quarter time it is the Saints 3-1-19 leading Bayswater 2-4-16. Entertaining first quarter of the game. A lot on the line, of course. Bayswater, if they lose this, they are out of the finals race. North Ringwood win, they'll be almost certain for a top 5 finish. But just before we go down to the 2 huddles, we're going to have a look at some of the scores around the grounds in Division 3. Ferntree Gully 2-3-15 to the Cats 1-6. Fair Park 2-4 leading White Horse 1-5.
Boundary.
As we go boundary side to John O'Vent.
Thanks very much, boys. I've got Robbie Nahas with me. Great start for your boys. How do you keep the momentum going?
I just think our frontal pressure is really good. I think at times we were a bit lazy. We left a little bit too much space in between the arcs. So I just said to the guys, just make sure we're still up in their face. They're going to want a handball change through. And if we get up in their face, we can turn the ball over close to our goal.
Midfield transition, a very big factor in trying to get the ball down your end with the wind.
Yeah, we like to use our hands through the stoppages, so we're just going to spread it out a little bit more around the stoppage this quarter and just give us a bit more space. We know they're going to fall back pretty hard this quarter, so we just want to lower our eyes in between the arcs.
Thanks very much, Robbie. All the best for the second term. Back to you, boys.
Thanks there, John O'Ven, with Robin Nahas, who had plenty of the football in that first quarter, Ray.
Yeah, he certainly did. In fact, the whole North Ringwood side, I reckon they would have out-possessioned the Bayswater side with all their hand passing. And their transition out of the back line in front of us on this grandstand side of the ground was, that got them a couple of goals early. But to Bayswater's credit, they kicked a couple of goals towards the end of the quarter there, and they got a lead at quarter time.
Absolutely. Looking again at some of the scores around the grounds, we'll jump into Division 2. Heathmont 3-4 to the Basin 3-2. Out at Jubilee Park, Bronya 3-3 to Ringwood 1-3. Waverley Blues 4-2 to Knox 2-1. And then Templestowe, a big first quarter, 5-5 to 1-1 East Burwood. So that's a handy lead there. Then quickly jumping into some Division 1 scores. South Belgrave 17 to Mooroolbark 7. Mitcham 34 to Croydon 7. So a good lead there for the Tigers. And then jumping back into Premier Division, South Croydon 40 to 14 Roval. So a big lead there for the Dogs. They need a win really big time at this stage as the umpire holds the ball up in the air. We're ready for the second quarter.
So here we are at Bayswater Oval. Bayswater versus North Ringwood. And the clearance is going to go to Kruger. He gets the ball bouncing out to Tertsikos. And he's trying to find Young there, but he had to wait for the ball to come up into his hand. Tertsikos goes again. High tackle laid by Van Unen. So Tertsikos to take the free kick. And he hands it off to White, who wasn't ready for it. Get back to Tertsikos. And finds a man on the outer side, which is Mags. So Bayswater trying to build in these opening moments of the second quarter. Mags goes a high down the line kick. No mark taken, and North Ringwood will feast on this. So there goes Flynn. Hands it off. Handball chain now for North Ringwood. Back to Flynn. Falls towards the boundary line there by Cameron. And taking it over there. Let's go to the boundary line.
Yeah, just listened in on the Mark Hardy team talk. He sort of agreed with you, Jared, that he had too many bodies in at the contest, and that was letting North Ringwood use the corridor and transition the ball too easily, so he wasn't too happy with that.
So Cullinan straight out of the centre, out of the clearance even. Thanks for that, Dylan. But Mags was the one to capitalise on that. Scrappy ball in there, and North Ringwood will take the advantage of that. Long ball down the line. It's been cut off, however, by McInerney, trying to wade his way through. He tried to find White there. Ball completely clean bowled him, and Burke was the one to pick it up and find the man in space. So this is Alex Young. Just to get the kick down the line. It's a spearing ball, marked by Tertsikos. Gets the kick inboard to McInerney. Just had to take it on the bounce there and share it round. McInerney having to go back to go forward, and the mark's been taken by Aaron Hoare.
So back on the half-back line now. They've lost some ground back where they started. I'll switch it again to that far side. Mark taken there by Tertsikos. Good season so far. Short kick over the top. Another target hit. 2 minutes into this second quarter. No score yet. 2-4-16 Bayswater. North Ringwood 3-1-19. Kick down the line to a pack of players here who can take a mark. It might just bounce and fall into the hands of Cullinan. Tried to claim it as a mark, but it is touched first, so we'll get a ball up. Didn't seem to like that one either. Having a look at the expression on his face as we get a ball up, and he'll get the tap out here. Straight down to Shepherd. And they do quite well here on the boundary line to escape some pressure from Bayswater. And North Ringwood now go on the attack. They've got some players out running over the top. It's a one-on-one contest, and there's a strong mark there by Thomas Jackson. Used his body well, and in front position takes the mark inside 50 on a bit of an angle.
If he kicks this goal, that's really going to hurt Bayswater because they had heaps of possession there, and they didn't get much meterage. North Ringwood kick it straight down, and very good open play there on the forward line.
They're certainly right. So Thomas Jackson on an acute angle, probably about 30 metres out. We'll see how he goes with this one. Bit of a funny ball drop and just a minor score. So 3-2-20. North Ringwood to Bayswater 2-4-16. A 4-point lead. 3 minutes gone in this first quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
McInerney to kick this one in. A little short chipping ball to Galvin. This is Joel, of course. Yes. And he's just weighing up his options. Bayswater slow and considered as they like to be. Aaron Hoare now finds the mark on the outer side there. This is White. Gets the kick down, and I think it's a downfield free kick there for White. Or in fact, yeah, down the field. So it was taken by Burke. He finds the man inboard who was McInerney. And then goes out to Young. They're switching the ball up well here, Bayswater. Tertsikos down the line. They're approaching their forward line through this kick, taken by Jared Cameron. And so, this is the one to send it inside 50 or not. No. Back to Young. And Young's kick, shallow, not quite a shallow entry. Mags takes the kick, and there's the entry. Bryce Galvin was the target, but he was beaten to the ball there by his opponent. And over the line, a boundary throw-in in Bayswater's forward line.
Update out at Vermont Recreation Reserve. Vermont 6-2-38 to East Ringwood 1-8.
So that's a case of revenge there for Vermont, of course. So it's come to White there. Good kick sideways. Finds Hasbrook. And this is where they've struggled here, Bayswater. They get it to Young. They're just not able to enter their forward line confidently. So Young's just going to send it. Here they go. Up goes Cullinan. He was in the best spot possible. Took the mark. He was the biggest man there. And he hands it off to Nahas, who finds Flynn there in the back pocket. Yeah. And he's going to try and work North Ringwood's way out. So very defensive game so far in this second quarter. Neither team able to find the options that they want to, but that was a good, strong mark there by Livingston. Safe hands by Ben Livingston. And North Ringwood trying to transition. High ball. Oh, it's going to go out the back here. This is Meikle. He's actually going to line up here or put it out in front of his teammate Milne, who's going to run onto it. He's got to beat Hoare. Sorry, that's Leach, not Milne, and he's seen it over the line. So a boundary throw in. So a lot of meterage gain from North Ringwood.
He mucked that up. He had a team member running with him.
Jackson with him.
He eluded the opponent. All he had to do was handball it over.
Yeah, that may
have
been
that's a missed opportunity.
Exactly right. A missed opportunity as the ball brought back into play. In the ruck there is Jackson, but it's all Bayswater's. Gelvin gets the hit out and passes it back as North Ringwood almost intercepted the mark. They're under a bit of pressure here, Bayswater, because it will be coming right back their way. Naha's here. He's taken the mark. He's probably had about 15 touches already. Oh, obviously the kick-out's one of them, but here's a 25-metre penalty, so Robbie Nahas will be lining up from about 35 out, very slight angle.
I'm just wondering if that was a lesser player appealing for that free kick, would it have been paid?
Well, he played that one well.
I know.
That was well played.
That was experience.
Well, yeah, you're certainly right. Those are your AFL elite experiences. Robin Nahas will line up for the Saints' fourth. Playing defence here today. He's been able to push forward at times, and this one is going to be through the middle for a goal. Yes. Robbie Nahas kicks North Ringwood's fourth. They go to 4-2-26 to Bayswater 2-4-16. Coming up to the 7-minute mark of this second quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We'll go down the boundary side to Dylan Smith.
Yeah, just watching Robbie Nahas there, he had the umpire right in front of him and he just milked that one perfectly.
He actually put his hand out, looked at the umpire and said, well, what are you going to do?
You could see the Bayswater player was just trying to pull him back to get back on the mark.
Because he was off if they weren't, I know.
Definitely emphasised that for sure. So Castricum gets the tap down, but it's going to go straight to Van Noonen, wrapped up.
Just out at Doncaster at transfer reserve, there's been a broken leg in that first quarter, so that score will be quite delayed across the afternoon.
That is an unfortunate situation there. Any news on who the injured player is?
No, I don't have that one for you, Jared.
So hopefully they can recover quickly, whoever it is, as back to the ranch. It's Van Noonen getting the handball to Teal, and on the outer side it's Whelan. High ball towards the forward line. Nasal couldn't take that mark. It's come out to Treby here, who's pushed back. High ball from Treby, and it's going to be easily marked there by... that's Meikle standing under the ball and taking a good mark. He handed it back to Nahas. Spearing ball there to Braunthal. He shares it round with Law. Comes back to Braunthal. Snap kick towards the goal square. Mark taken there by McInerney, who's starting to work his way into the game. And his kick was a dangerous one. Coming over the top there for North Ringwood was Van Noonen, but Bayswater, they'll be able to just clean it up. It wasn't a clear kick outside of defensive 50. Now it's come to Sharp. His shot at goal is going to hold its line, which was right. And just the one behind there for North Ringwood. Didn't capitalise on that, North Ringwood, but they're putting Bayswater under a lot of pressure.
They're peppering, but when you got momentum, you got to hit the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
Just on that one at Trans Reserve, they're currently having a look at that. The player is still on the ground, so I'm not quite sure what the consequences of that will be.
Which team was he?
I haven't quite got that on hand at the moment, as North Ringwood will send themselves back into attack again, towards the dangerous position. Fly there by Cullinan, who wasn't able to tuck the mark, but it fell into his hands, and then he was caught straight away in a tackle and pinked. So
that was tough.
We'll take advantage, play on and find a target here at the half back line. It was maybe a bit of a tough call there, but Searle certainly took the advantage of it and played on straight away as Bayswater looked to go down the line on the wing here on the far side. This ball is punched over the line for a boundary throw-in. 9.5 minutes in this second quarter gone.
The way North Ringwood peppering the ball back into their forward 50, I think they've got to change their style. Lower their eyes and look for something, because it's not paying off just bombing it in there.
As we go boundary side?
Yeah, Ray, that's exactly right. That's exactly what Robbie Nahas wants of his players, just to lower their eyes, look for options, and try and get an easy entry in there.
Well, they won't get one here because it's a free kick going towards Bayswater. I believe that's going to Kruger. No, instead it'll be going to Jake Burke. So at the half-back line, they've probably struggled to move the ball forward a little bit in this second quarter. He'll just send it long down the line. A mark not taken there by Castricum. Bounce forward. Punched away now, Van Oonen. Got it to Will, and he's brought down in a tackle by Galvin. Joel Galvin, that is, the experienced veteran.
Holding the ball.
Be coming up to 300 games in a couple more years if he's going to hang around. Joel Galvin.
He's already a legend of the competition.
Absolutely.
I think some medals in 3 divisions.
And looks to switch it into the middle where Ben White is there to take the easy mark, and a short kick forward looking for McLeod. Now he's got a bit of space, so he can take a bounce if he wants to. Decides to throw it on the boot over the top. He misread the kick. And there's Flynn for North Ringwood, who picks it up. Brought down in a tackle by, I believe that was McInerney. It was. Ooh. A bit of feeling in that one as McInerney earns himself a free kick and will send Bayswater inside 50. Looked to kick it at first and then decided to switch it across and finds Galvin. Joel Galvin inside 50. There's a mark, not quite. Bouncing ball. And they go back to go forward again, Joel Galvin, but they misread it. Now North Ringwood are out and they go down the line. Player there in Patterson got one to beat. Doing well there was Hoare. And that kick is a dangerous one. Made his teammate really work for it, and they look to retreat. They're just going to have to look for a minor score. Cullinan picked it up. The Bayswater player there did not. I think that was McLeod. No, it was Young instead. Was a bit worried. Was trying to, I think, look for the rush behind, and just fell into the hands of Cullinan. So got away with one.
Oh, heart in your mouth stuff there.
2-4. North Ringwood lead by 12 points, coming up to the 12th minute mark of this second quarter.
As I said, heart in your mouth stuff there if you're Bayswater. That was the one they got away with for sure. So waiting on the kick in here. Bayswater send it forward. I think that was Schroeder. And a mark taken by McInerney. And this control style of play for Bayswater, they're finding themselves under a lot of pressure. Little chip to Kruger. And he's going to try and work his way around the man. And there's the pressure, as I said. Yeah. And North Ringwood feast on it. Braunthal gave the holding the ball decision that was great to Nahas, and now a mark inside forward 50 for North Ringwood.
That was selfish play. He took the man on the mark on, and he had a teammate running beside him. All he had to do was hand pass it.
Yep, Sam Law was the one to take the mark. Yeah. And North Ringwood capitalising here on Bayswater's indecision and lack of connection, I think, between some of their players in terms of the way they want to play.
That's right, yep.
So, Sam Law, bit of an awkward looking march in towards the goals, and he's just pushed it across the face, and just the one behind there for North Ringwood. So once again, a bit of a let off for Bayswater. North Ringwood moved to 4-5-29, and it's Bayswater 2-4-16. 13 minutes gone in the second quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Ryan.
So McInerney to bring it in for Bayswater. Said North Ringwood probably have this game in their hands at the moment. They can do some real damage here if they use it well, and that kick from McInerney is out of bounds on the full, so they'll get another chance.
Someone's got to give him a short option. Good bombing.
This is a short option now, but it just went over the top of his head. Yeah. I believe that was Patterson or Law, and it's going to be wrapped up here in a tackle. Yeah, I think it was Law that he wanted to look out for, but miskicked it just over the top of his head. So we'll get a stoppage inside 50 here for North Ringwood. And that ball out of bounds. So another boundary throw in. 13 coming up to 14 minutes gone in this second quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Bayswater 2-4, North Ringwood 4-5.
That injury in Shrams was Doncaster player, and it's a potential complex fracture, so that's why they've been told not to move him off the field.
So a very serious injury out there as we get another stoppage inside 50 for North Ringwood. We have this game on hold at the moment. Just a couple of scores around the grounds. First one up from update from Coldstream Reserve. The Cougars 4-9 to 1-1 Warrandyte. So could be in for an upset there. Is grabbing it out.
Kruger.
Kruger was caught. wrapped up, but we'll get another ball up. Oakley now lead Donvale 2-7 to 2-2. You've got to take your chances when you play the Magpies as Jack Whelan got the handball over the top. Now a shot on goal here from Mill.
Oh, hit the post.
Just hit the post. Meekly, I think. Meekle.
Yeah.
Yep. So just a minor score. 4-6-30 to Bayswater 2-4-16. Coming up to the 15-minute mark of this second quarter.
So it's a bit of deja vu here as McInerney on the kick in gets it there to Kruger, who's bitten off more than he can chew a couple times this quarter, and that was a short kick, too short there to McLeod, and Bayswater trying to clean it up there. McInerney's under a huge amount of pressure there as Leach lays the tackle. The umpire's going to come in and it looks like it's a 25-metre penalty there to Leach, so it was a free kick for holding the ball. And then can someone else tell me exactly what the 25 was for, because it seemed a little innocuous. Let's go to the boundary line.
Do we have dissent in the AFNL?
Absolutely. I think so.
Yes. Yeah, we do.
Yes.
I mean, not Ben dissent from Montrose. I mean,
no.
So in comes Leach from that 25-metre penalty. He's on a bit of an angle there in the pocket, but his kick is straight. It wasn't quite threading the eye of the needle, but it was close enough. And North Ringwood, they continue to push their advantage. It's 5-6-36 to Bayswater 2-4-16. 16 minutes gone in this second quarter, and a very interesting score that you pointed to me, Ryan, as we go around the grounds.
Just firstly, they actually really needed that because they've dominated this quarter, and only one goal to their name wouldn't have been enough. But out at Mulgrave Reserve, up Furniture Gully, 4-1 to Mulgrave 2-3. So maybe an upset brewing there. Templestowe 47, East Burwood 7, so extending their lead. We'll keep you updated on some of those scores around the grounds as the afternoon progresses. Back here at Bayswater, it's North Ringwood now with a game-high 20-point lead. We get another stoppage in the midfield. But they've really on control at the moment, dominated time and possession of the football as they look to get another clearance forward. The bouncing ball still had to be good. Got a hand to it, but it falls out the back there. And there he is again. Leach got his handball over to a teammate, and they're off. And a shot on goal there from... I think that was Brocknell, was way out of bounds. So out of bounds on the full there.
He had more time than what he thought he did.
Yeah, he certainly did. As Bayswater looked to clear it out, and here's Searle who takes the mark at the half-back line. Right, tucked in on the boundary side. He'll look to kick it towards us here in the broadcast wing. Flying at front, almost taken there by Cameron, but it fell at the back, and here's the chance now for Hasbrook. Gets past his opponents and puts it into space. A mark could be taken here, and it is. There by Josh Treby. He's got to play over the top. And instead, he's got players actually everywhere, and one of them is Mags, who takes the mark in a better position for goal, but decides to pass it off himself, and they look to raffle it off to another teammate there. So they will get a set shot on goal, and it's a much-needed goal, 20 points down, and really have not seen much of it this quarter.
That was a transition out of defence that we didn't expect from Bayswater, and that caught North Ringwood out.
Yeah, they
were sleeping there, the North Ringwood defence then.
So here we go. They need this one. Just the two for the moment. And that kick is on its way. It's right through the middle. And Bayswater, a much-needed goal. That's 3-4-22. To North Ringwood 5-6-36, and
I believe that was Aaron Cott.
That was Aaron Cott. You're right. He was about to come out off the boundary there, but he's decided to stay on. He's moved into the middle as we go boundary side to Dylan Smith.
Yeah, just on that, I think both teams have really struggled to defend the corridor on that transition, and you just saw there how easy it was for Bayswater to go up, even though North Ringwood have been on top quite convincingly in this quarter.
So Aaron Cott there with his 16th goal of the year. Sorry, 15th goal of the year, I should say. He's taking the lead for the leading goal kicker for Bayswater. So from this clearance, North Ringwood to take it again. So it's Teal. His kick was smothered. Picked up there by Bayswater. White now out to Cott, the goal kicker. Had a bit of time and space to spear the ball towards the forward 50. Great mark taken. And that's Schroeder, I believe. And it's a 25-metre penalty. We've seen it again.
Yeah, he's actually paid tunnelling by the looks of it.
Oh, that's... it's not in a free kick we usually see. Nahas is on the ground looking pretty... Oh, he's looking in trouble there, Robbie Nahas. Yeah. And they're calling for the trainers, so we'll see if we get a stop and play. Oh, that's tragic. He's in a lot of pain.
Just with that stop, the player for Doncaster that was with the leg injury is it's either Lewis or Liu Thomas.
Thanks for that, Lee. Keeping on things around the ground as Schroeder comes in. They need to capitalise here, Bayswater. They have done just that. And they are not giving this one up too quickly. So they move now to 4-4-28. North Ringwood 5-6-36. We're ticking into time on here in the second quarter, and a huge blow for North Ringwood as their coach and one of their best players for sure, Robbie Nahas, has gone down. He's still limping off the ground in the hands of the trainers. Oh, the trainers are actually leaving him there on the ground.
Goal.
The goal kick there was Schroeder. And back into the centre here.
Just a couple of quick jumper changes as well. So Law and Patterson have switched. So Law is in 18 today, and Patterson, in 16, as Bayswater look to go forward themselves as Gelvin, player out, and I believe that's his brother in the pocket. Short kick finds a target in Schroeder, who just kicked the last one and will be lining up, and all of a sudden they might be able to bring this margin back to 2 points.
The momentum has completely changed. Ever since they got it out of that defensive 50, Bayswater, they've got all the run ahead of them now.
Well, certainly right. So this would be 3 goals in very quick time. Really bring this margin back. As we said, it's a must-win game. You lose this one, they are out of the race. So lining up for his second or third now, Schroeder. And that kick, you can hear it on ground level. They like that one. And suddenly this margin's back to 2 points. 5-4-34 Bayswater. North Ringwood 5-6-36. 21 and a half minutes gone. So just to repeat those jumper changes, Patterson is in 16. Law is in 18. So they have switched jumpers from last week, we believe.
Okay.
But a big response here from Bayswater, because that first half, probably the first 15 minutes of that second quarter, looked all North Ringwood.
And it was 5 behinds kicked by North Ringwood in that quarter, so, it certainly makes a difference. Good kicking.
So back into the centre, and it's Jackson to get the clearance. He got it out to Shepherd. Tumbling ball forward there. Sharp to pick it up. He had a bit of time to get the handball away. Jackson just took a backward step so he could get that kick around the corner towards centre half forward. Nearly a good mark taken by Stubbs. He's being wrapped up, however, by Searle. Ball spills free to Maggs, now to White. Had a small amount of space to work in, but he managed to get the kick to Sertzikos. Out on the outer side. Started this quarter well, Sertzikos. Had a lot of possessions. Let's go boundary line real quick.
Thanks very much, Jared. Robbie Nahas, he just has a bit of an ankle issue, so he's touch and go.
Thank you for that. Huge news there. If that's a long-term thing for North Ringwood, or hopefully, if anything, just the game.
Just some results in Division 4. Kilsyth 5-1 to Scoresby yet to score.
That's a huge one there for Kilsyth to stamp their authority on Division 4. Well, the 2 North Ringwood players from that kick inside 50, they fought over it themselves. No talk at all.
They spoiled each other, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so Bayswater weren't able to capitalise on that completely. It's just the ball up here. Jackson gets the tap down. Free kick from the ruck. And it looks like it's going to be Jackson to take the free kick. North Ringwood now to work things out. They are defending a slender 2-point lead, and they're not going to defend it for long with play like that. Nahas, who's able to wriggle his way free, get the kick towards the man in the goal square there. That's Dylan Van Unen. That was really, really good play by Nahas, coming off what looked like a painful potential injury. So Joel Nathan was the target. Over the top there comes Kruger. He did well. Hasbrook just tried to keep it in, but wasn't able to. And it's going to be a boundary throw-in.
A couple more scores around the grounds of Division 4. Surrey Park 10-7 to Forest Hill 1-6. Croydon North lead 4-3 to 2-1 Nunawading.
Back into play here. Who's in the ruck? So it's Jackson to tap it down now to Flynn. Flynn gets it out to Payne. Now to Braunthal. They're building well here. If they can find another man in space, it was Sharpen. Now to Flynn once again. Tumbling ball forward. Trying to take the diving mark there. North Ringwood couldn't quite do so. That was Livingston. It's now in the hands of Stubbs. Finds it Flynn. He was under a bit of pressure, but managed to get the handball away. Spearing ball inside forward 50. Searle was able to take a really good intercept mark. The umpire paid it, even though it just bounced out of his hands.
North Ringwood fans aren't happy.
No, they're not.
That was definitely a mark.
And they could get revenge here if Young was not as composed as he was. That was really good. Gets the kick down the line to the diving Tsertsikos, and the former Ferntree Gully player will try and send Bayswater back into attack.
So here he is on the half-back line. Short kick to White. Takes it in the back half of the field. That kick is going to be a turnover. Whelan was looking for Galvin there. And that's 20. Is that 25? It is. I think that was a bit harsh. I'll have to have a look at the replay of that one. So Jack Whelan will have a shot on goal, and that's against Galvin. So
I think the umpires ruled that he knocked it out of his hand.
I think
we could see more than the umpire.
I think that's very harsh. But
he didn't really have a full hold of it.
So Jack Whelan will have the set shot and will put it through the middle. So a good response in North Ringwood. 6-6-42 to Bayswater 5-4-34. 25 minutes gone in that second quarter. Yeah, but for me, that's not. I don't know. I have to have a look at the replay again, but I thought that was just play on. So
he had marked it. There's no doubt about. I reckon he marked it.
Yeah,
but
it should be.
It's just
the 25 maybe a bit harsh, but either way, Jack Whelan, who's had a fantastic afternoon so far, capitalises on his good work.
So North Ringwood push ahead to an 8-point lead here. 6-6-42 to 5-4-34 back into the centre. Another free kick there, blocking in the ruck contest, and Bayswater will take it away through Castricum. Hands it off to White. Kick towards the forward line there. Just came off the ground there for Burke, I thought, but the mark was paid, and out to White, who's got acres of space, takes a couple of bounces, sends the ball towards the goal, but it's out in the full. So wasted opportunity there for the Waters, and Nahas will take the free kick for out in the full. I thought he was in a lot of pain there earlier, Nahas. He was banging the ground with his fist, and he did not look happy.
He looked as though he was finished, didn't he?
So miraculous recovery there as he gets the ball over to Sharp. And North Ringwood to build once again. Nahas trying to make himself an option. Sharp ignores him, steps around the player. That was good, and he's just going to send it right up the centre. Mark's not quite taken there. Hall was good enough to put his body in the way of North Ringwood thrust forward. And we'll get a ball up. Higgins on the bottom of that pack, just having to readjust his helmet now. So up we go again. It's Galvin tapping it down to White. Hands it off to Joel Galvin in this case. And we'll get another ball up as he was wrapped up. 27 minutes gone in this second quarter, so half-time just around the corner. White trying to fight for it, but it was Higgins to pick it up, and he drew the high free kick there from Whelan. So Higgins going to find the man on the outer side. Gee, that kick was a little bit skewiff, but Galvin made it look all right. And he gets the ball down the line to Tsertsikos. He's a good link-up player, Mitch Tsertsikos. But a high ball towards the forward line. The pack crashes into each other, and I think it's Kruger at the bottom of the pack there.
Neither side would want to concede a goal at this stage of the quarter.
You'd think not, and especially in such a defensive game. So North Ringwood to take the clearance. Tsertsikos finds the loose ball, however. Hands it off to Young. Young gets a looping handball there to Galvin. Uses his agility to handball it off there. The whistle's gone. I thought that was a mark, and it's Treby running into the open goal there. Fantastic play, Bayswater. Great transition into the forward line, and that's been their most effective inside 50 we've seen today.
Well, that was beautiful play, wasn't it? Got it off the hands and was smart enough to see. I don't know if he was going for goal himself, but Treby there in front position to take the mark and then run into an open goal. So another good response from Bayswater. It's been a really positive last 10 minutes, Ray.
It has. Look, in fact, they've played pretty well on the second half of this quarter.
Absolutely. A couple of results around the grounds at the moment. Beaconsfield with their 4-point lead over Montrose, 5 straight to 4-2. Mitcham 43 to Croydon 21. And then South Belgrave lead by a point, 20-19 Murrelbach. If Murrelbach win that one, these two sides will certainly be interested in that result, as Jack Whelan got the handball out in the clearance and North Ringwood go forward themselves. Is there a chance? A late one for them. Here's Stubbs, who running forward to take the mark and outside 50. I know he actually probably does have the distance. He's a good kick of the footy, Tom Stubbs. And he'll just look to load up. That kick is just going to fall short. Almost, actually, may have.
I reckon that's
Has that
a
held the
goal.
line?
I reckon that's a goal.
There was a whistle.
Well, let's see. So it actually might be coming back here in towards the middle of the ground. And we've got a
Yellow card for Stubbs.
So Tom Stubbs will come off here with the yellow card. I'm not sure what had happened there. There's someone down there on ground level.
Everyone loves Morris.
Morris, probably the most well-known umpire in the Eastern Football Netball League. McInerney will look to play on, immediately kicks into the middle of the ground. Punch from behind and a free kick here given away from Searle. And just let's see what happens here, because there's a few players who are under pressure at the moment. It's Van Unen goes inside 50. Front position there, that almost was a mark. Punch down, and now Bayswater can sort of settle to get out of here. They're under a bit of pressure. The pass there and works out all right. That was Gelvin across to Cotty, and they link up and find a mark here. Sertzikos got Young right on the wing. Is there time for a late one for Bayswater? They go down the line. Here's a mark, a chance there. Higgins played on and passed it off. They got players out in the middle there, almost taken by Hasbrook. Was able to contend with it and shot on goal. Bouncing ball. Hasbrook puts Bayswater in front, 7-4. It's a 6-6. And that's a brilliant finish. Didn't quite take the mark, but kept it in front of him. And that's your Tobin Brothers goal of the day contender, I think.
That a yellow card to Stubbs was a little bit of a turning point in that passage of play, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because I have no doubt that was a goal that he kicked. But, you know, a bit of undisciplined play, and it reversed, and they get a goal.
So Robbie Nahas will be smarting at that, no doubt, as Bayswater look to take the lead into halftime, which is not what we would have expected, especially halfway through this quarter. As North Ringwood seem to have all the play, but Bayswater now capitalising late. Back into the centre in the dying moments of the second quarter. Little kick away there from Cullinan. Not 15, so the mark not taken there by Cameron. He was wrapped up. Another ball up. Cullinan up against Castricum. No clear tap. Whelan to try and bust his way through. Got it out to Van Unen. And there's the halftime siren here at Bayswater Oval. Fascinating clash here between the Waters and the Saints. This is finals places on the line during this game. And let's go to Ryan Long for some of the goal kickers.
For the goal kickers to Bayswater, Schroeder has 3 majors and all singles to Hasbrook, Treby, Cotty and McInerney. As for North Ringwood, all single goal kickers in Cullinan, Flynn, Leach, Nahas, Livingston and Jack Whelan. That's it for us at half-time. It is Bayswater 7-4-46 in front by 4 points. North Ringwood 6-6-42 for the Eastland match of the round.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
And it's half-time here in the Eastland Match of the round. It's Division 1 action between Bayswater and North Ringwood. The score, if you've just tuned in or just missed it, the score is Bayswater 7-4-46, leading North Ringwood by 4 points, 6-6-42. My name's John O'Ven, hosting the halftime show. I'm joined by Ryan Long, EFNL Media Manager, and today's play-by-play caller alongside Jared Beanland. But also I'm joined on the other end of the table by my fellow boundary rider, Dylan Smith. We'll start with you, Dill, and get your thoughts on the game so far.
Yeah, I thought the game was really open in that first quarter. I thought both teams were able to transition the ball really easily, and I think that was off the back of maybe both teams sort of defending the corridor quite poorly, to be honest, and both sides were just able to waltz the ball up from end to end. I thought that really tightened up in the second quarter, especially from Bayswater. They kind of held onto the ball a bit more, and they did make some turnovers and make some mistakes, but it was able to let them settle a little bit when the tide was sort of going against them, and then they were able to wrestle their way back into the game and create some scores.
Ryan Long?
I thought North Ringwood probably should have been further up in front about 15 minutes into that second quarter. They had, dominated time possession in the footy, a lot of inside 50s, and just couldn't quite capitalise in front of goal. We know how important that is, so weren't able to put it on the scoreboard. And then Bayswater, it really just took one transition play to end up getting a goal, and after that they were a bit better in the midfield, getting a bit more clearance first to the footy a little bit more, and creating a few more opportunities. And a couple of times it looked a lot better when they had those open plays there. At one stage you had Mags, Cotty, and I think even McInerney as well, all spread out, and you had plenty of options, which is something they probably didn't get in the first quarter, and something, as Mark Hardy said, they probably clogged the play a little bit in that first quarter, so certainly improved on that. And to see him in front is a bit of a surprise, 5 straight in that quarter.
It's definitely a surprise, and they were definitely given a lifeline, and I think when you do give teams a lifeline like that, they can sort of grow into the game. And with how they started that second quarter with chipping it around and hanging on to it, they made some mistakes, and then once North Ringwood missed those opportunities, it let them back in, and then they were able to get some dominance themselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's have a look at some other scores around the grounds from Division 1. Mooralbark playing South Belgrave. The score from that one, South Belgrave only lead by a solitary point. Mooralbark 3-1-19, trailing South Belgrave.
Just before we move on to the next one, Jono, that's very important for this game as well, because I love the hypotheticals, but if Bayswater win this one, well, that leaves Mooralbark in the hunt, and then also Wanturna South if they beat Lilydale. I'm not sure if you've got the result there, if they've uploaded that at all, but if they win as well, that makes it very interesting for the final 2 weeks. It'll be very open for top 5.
Nothing from that mentioned game there between Wanturna South and Lilydale, but there's also Montrose taking on Beaconsfield out at Montrose. The score from that one, as my phone starts to reload, the only thing I've got is there we go.
Just an update. Sorry,
just back from Lilydale. Sorry, we'll go. Seniors half-time. Lilydale 6-5-41. Trailing Wanturna South 8-11-59. Let's go back to Montrose then, and Montrose well and truly ahead of the Eagles at home. Montrose 11-7-73 to Beaconsfield 5-3-33. Ryan, I don't think we were quite expecting this one during the pre-game.
No, and actually Beaconsfield were in front, so they've kicked the last 6 goals, I think, Montrose now, so that's a big second quarter for them and puts them well and truly in control going into half-time.
And finally, the game out at Walker Park to round out the Division 1 scores. Mitcham taking on Croydon. It's the Tigers in front by 22 points. Mitcham 6-7-43. Leading the Blues 3-3-21. Ryan Long, are there any other games that have caught your eye so far this afternoon?
Just quickly before we go to the ad break, I'll point out the Roeville-South Croydon game. South Croydon led by quite a bit early on, but Roeville have now hit the front at half-time 54-53, and then Doncaster East 16 to Norwood 52, so that's an upset brewing, but any other results we'll probably get to after the break, I'd say.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? There's plenty more action still to come around the grounds and indeed right here at Bayswater Oval. After the break, we'll have the second half of the Eastland match of the round between Bayswater and North Ringwood. Back after this.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, well, yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities. All the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
There's no mystery about our pricing. It is clearly displayed on our website and our app. We have staff standing by 24 hours a day, every day of the year to assist you in your absolute time of need.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet: pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Baroni Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Bayswater Oval for a fascinating Division 1 clash. For Bayswater, it's lose this and you're out of the finals race. North Ringwood, if they win this, then they're just about looking up their spot in the top 5. Bayswater are currently leading 7-4-46 to North Ringwood, 6-6-42. We're just ahead of the third quarter here. Thank you so much to Ryan, Dylan and Jono for the halftime show as we return
and Jared, Bayswater Footy Club, done a fantastic job with the lunch inside.
Indeed.
We've had a bit of food, so they've been very
They
accommodating.
always do come into Bayswater.
Yeah, they look after us very well.
Indeed. They've been fantastic for us, and their side at the moment lead by 4 points, Jared, as you said.
Yep, and it's been a fascinating clash. That second quarter especially, it was pretty to and fro. North Ringwood 5 behinds in that one, didn't capitalise on their control of the game, and then Bayswater started to really hit back. They were a lot more efficient going forward and had a couple more opportunistic goals. Thoughts on the rest of the game, guys? Where do we see this one going? Because it is very up in the air.
Well, it's 50-50. I don't think you can tell where it's going because that was a great second quarter by Bayswater. They kicked 5 goals straight after the ball was inside North Ringwood's forward 50 for probably 3/4 of that quarter, and they only kicked 3 goals 5 for some bad kicking there by North Ringwood. But gee, the way Bayswater finished off the last 10 minutes, if they can keep that up, they'll certainly jump out of the blocks. But it's up to North Ringwood now to peg them back.
Just some scores around the grounds before we get to the second half. Ferntree Gully versus Sylvan, 2-11 the Eagles. Still lead 3-1 Sylvan. So a 4-point lead, yet they've had over 10 more scoring shots than the Cats. Jumping at Donvale Reserve, they're back in front of the Magpies, 8-8 to 4-8. Out at Coldstream, 51 to Warrandyte 9. That is a big surprise by that sort of margin. Fair Park lead by 3 points over Whitehorse. We'll jump into Premier Division. As we mentioned before the break, a couple of surprising results. Norwood 52, Doncaster 16. So that's a bit of a upset, that one. They can play a factor in who finishes where in the top 6, despite not playing finals themselves. So we got an update from
back out at Shram's Reserve. Play's about to resume the second quarter. It'll be 20 minutes, no time off. Q3 and 4 will be as normal. So they will finish late anyway, I'd expect.
And at that game, it's 25-3 in favour of Blackburn. Baldwin lead Berwick 47-28. Roeville back in front now, 54-53. They were trailing by 5 or 6 goals earlier. Noble Park 53 to Park Orchards 10. And back here, it's a 4-point lead to Bayswater as we kick off the third quarter.
Sad to see my roughie not getting up there over Noble Park, but back at the ranch, it's Harry Flynn to try and get the clearance there. He got it off to O'Donnell. High kick towards centre half forward here for North Ringwood. Crashing in comes Livingston. And ball up here at centre half forward for North Ringwood to get us underway. Castricum couldn't quite get the tap down. Jackson controlled it well there, and out of the pack there was Whelan. Kick towards Searle. Searle just manages to find the handball there to teammate. Crashing through and trying to really make an impression on the contest for North Ringwood. I believe that might have been Patterson. So tap down there from Castricum. Crashing in comes Kruger. Oh, it's come out the back there for North Ringwood. Yeah, the kick forward marked, cut off. It wasn't marked actually, it was just cut off. And John Stewart ended up wrapped up in a tackle. We've gone just 1 minute in this third quarter. Tap down from Castricum. Falling over was Whelan. Couldn't make an impact on that contest. Real scrap there. And out of the pack, it's going to come now to Cotty. He just shrugged off the tackle from Nahas pretty easily, but the kick was cut off by Jackson. He's in a real scrap, a fight for his life there against Higgins. Probably one of the smallest men on the ground against one of the tallest. So well done by Higgins. Good tenacity showed in that contest, and he forced the ball up. In comes Castricum for the hit out. Taken now by Braunthal. Handed it out to Flynn. His handball was cut off, and Braunthal couldn't affect the contest in the way he wanted, so Nahas comes in to bump up a bit of a mess. So Whelan gets the kick down towards a pack there. Coming out of it was Mags for Bayswater. Long kick there, but reading the play well was Dylan Van Unen. And his kick nearly came to Joel Nathan. Cut off, however, by Bayswater. Nathan had to turn tackler. And it's going to be a ball up just towards centre half forward there for the Waters, as Tsertsikos was the one on the bottom of that pack. Ball up once again. Castricum taps it down. That was well done to Cameron. Tom Cameron it was, now to his brother Jared. Oh, but he was beaten to the footy there by Dylan Van Unen. Well done by him. It was good stuff running with the flight of the ball. Spearing kick now to Meikle. Meikle, high ball there, moving forward for North Ringwood. Scrapping for it there, that was Livingston. Now it comes out to Flynn and Jackson. Jackson switches the ball up over to Sharper. Well done by Tsertsikos, cutting that one off. Read the ball well. Nathan is challenging there. Higgins at ground level gets the handball off to Tsertsikos. Kick towards the forward line for Bayswater. Cameron. Oh, he just handed it straight to Nahas. Nahas takes a backward step. That was skillful and agile. It allowed him to get the kick away to Shepherd. Strong hands by Shepherd. Takes the mark.
That was a great smother by Robbie Nahas. He just waited for the handball to go, cut it off.
North Ringwood moving forward there. Castricum just to place himself under that kick. The target was Livingston, but Castricum was able to cut it off and take the intercept mark.
So here Bayswater go again. A chance forward. That McInerney kick is out of bounds on the full, right in front of the North Ringwood interchange bench. So North Ringwood will take it through the hands of Robin Nahas, who passes it over the top. Here's Sharp. A kick looking for Van Noonan. Hand passes it off to the running player in Jackson. Goes back to Nahas now. He's got Brauthnell there. He'll be able to receive this one as North Ringwood go forward themselves. Bayswater got some players out back, but standing in front, doing very well there was Luke Patterson. And Patterson just loads up to go inside 50. A mark in front was dropped there by Bayswater, and that was Hasbrook who just slipped through his hands and will result in a ball up inside 50 here for North Ringwood. 4 minutes into this third quarter, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is still Bayswater 7-4 to North Ringwood 6-6. No score in this third quarter just yet. A chance now for North Ringwood out of mid-air. Now there's your Tobin Brothers goal of the day.
Yes.
Phenomenal finish there from Matthew Shepherd. Out of mid-air. And North Ringwood are back in front here at Bayswater Oval. 7-6-48 to Bayswater, 7-4-46. 4.5 minutes gone in this third quarter.
Well, just looking at the replay there, that was very, very skillful. Just read the tap so well from his teammate.
Now, I'm writing this down because we always get to the end of the game and we don't remember. So we have it written down now. That is your leader for the Tobin Brothers goal of the day.
Gee, that could almost be goal of the year. You know, that was absolutely amazing the way he did that.
Absolutely.
So back into the centre we go. There's the ball up. Castricum taps it down. Tom Cameron tried to force it out, but couldn't. Castricum again gets the tap down. Cameron once again diving handball there towards White. It was scooped up there by Hoare. Gets it back to Young, and his kick down the line finds a teammate. Bayswater going forward here, and the target was Bryce Galvin. He's just a little bit too far out to score, perhaps. Or does he back himself in this one? No, he doesn't. Kicks it towards the hot spot. And coming out and reading that really well was O'Donnell.
We had 3 Bayswater players around him, but just didn't quite nail the kick.
So going inside forward 50, Bayswater have seemed a little bit inefficient, especially during the first parts of the second quarter. Anyway, North Ringwood just take it away through Whelan. Spearing ball there. Bit of a bouncer, however. So the contest is on. Bayswater, it was scooped up there. That was McLeod. He was tackled by Church. And we'll get a ball up pretty close to North Ringwood's forward line. 6 minutes gone in this second quarter. Castricum taps it down. Tried to get it back. It was a bouncing ball. Oh, but out of the centre there was Jackson. And his kick was cut off really well by Luke Scott. Luke Scott now switching the ball up to Scott. So it's a little bit too wide there, and that's out in the full. And North Ringwood will take the free kick. It's Jordan Milne. And he's hard up against the boundary line, of course. Big opportunity for North Ringwood to put a second on the board for the third quarter. Jordan Milne. Is he going to go around the corner? He looks like he's loading up for a traditional drop punt on the left as well. Well, it's come off the boot really poorly, but it was a goal. How did he do that? Let's go down to the boundary line for maybe an explanation into what on earth just happened.
Can we, right after we've had the Tobin Brothers goal of the day, can we have the Tobin Brothers wobbler of the day?
Well, look
at there, gentlemen.
Bit of a floater through the middle.
That was a real shank of a kick, wasn't it? And but the defender on the goal line just sort of stood there and watched it. He was amazed.
Gents, as the saying goes, task failed successfully.
Well, a goal is a goal. Kick. So North Ringwood 8-6 to 7-4 Bayswater. They've kicked the opening 2 goals of this quarter and now lead by 8 points. With a massive second half ahead here. Back in the ruck, Castricum for Bayswater got the hit out. Again, it's Van Noonan who picks it up, and he's caught in a tackle there. Thomas Cameron wrapping him up, so we'll get that secondary ball up for Morris. Castricum again this time. might just fall into the hands of North Ringwood. There's a chance there through Milne. He's caught, and we'll get another ball up, centre of the ground. 8 minutes gone in this third quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It's North Ringwood 8-6 to Bayswater 7-4. Thanks for joining us, Radio Eastern 98.1 FM, as Van Noonan tried to take on White, and he was pinged for holding the ball. So Ben White here for Bayswater will send him forward. The kick, Robbie Nahas almost took a one-handed grab, and look at that pickup. Passed it off to the running player there, and they are in a bit of a trouble because they will be holding the ball, and that's against another 25. No, I thought I heard something. So Bayswater inside 50. North Ring will play at the front position, and out the back there's 1-2 there in Payne, and out of bounds. We'll get a boundary throw in here. 8 coming up to 9 minutes gone. 54-46. Inside 50 here for Bayswater. Would want the next one. Galvin in front position, got the hit out. Went straight down to Jack Whelan. We'll get another ball up.
9 minutes gone in this third quarter. Bayswater are really going to have to start to get the ball back on their terms as they did in the second part of that second quarter. And that was a high free kick given away to Whelan. So North Ringwood to load up once again from the back 50.
I'll tell you what, if I had to pick someone to go to war with, Jack Whelan every time. Every time. He's as tough as they come.
Puts his body on the line all the time. It doesn't take a backward step either. So Milne will end up with it. Looping handball here back to Whelan. Going back to go forward, and it was a little chipping ball there from Whelan. He thought it was a clever option, but the man was just a little too far off there to take the mark, and it's just gone over the boundary line. So another throw in there. North Ringwood 2 goals for the quarter so far. Bayswater yet to score a goal. It's been scooped up there by Meikle. He had time and space to work in. Searle, however, comes across and takes a really good intercept mark. He does that well. Reads the ball really well, does Ben Searle. And so the veteran is going to just hammer it down the line. White nearly took the mark. It's just going to spill over the boundary line there. 10.5 minutes gone in this third quarter. North Ringwood 8-6-54. Bayswater 7-4-46 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We're here at Bayswater Oval for this Division 1 clash. Castricum just got the tap down, but it's come out to Milne. He's starting to work his way into the game now, and Braunthal was his handball target. He takes it over the boundary line once again.
Bit of a stalemate at the moment.
Yep.
Yes.
Almost feels like it could be, especially if it stays this close on the scoreboard, this could be the calm before the storm, really. I think that's what we're all hoping for as we get another ball up.
You look at the two sides, especially North Ringwood, they're a defensive first side, so you wouldn't expect this to be a high-scoring game.
No.
They might be happy sort of just to hold a lead like this for the rest of the afternoon.
You're not wrong, Ryan. Bayswater, the task is really up to them at the moment, at least in this this chapter of the game, to try and work their way back on top, as we had another ball up, and we'll have another one as well. Should we get some scores from around the ground, see if there are any updates?
Yes, a couple of updates. Mulgrave back in front, so no, don't have to worry, Lions fans. 77-38 out at Ringwood. 58-17, Baronia leading. Heathmont 54 to the Basin 28. Waverley Blues 71 to Knox 37. Templestowe 73 to East Burwood 15. Spider will be a little bit upset at the moment with that result for the Rams.
So the arm wrestle was broken there, and I think that's Teal trying to work his way around the player. Gets the kick now, and it's been marked by Dylan Van Noonen. He had Robin Nahas running for him, ignored him, gets the handball out to Payne, and they switch the ball up North Ringwood back to where all the stoppages were happening not too long ago. Just playing a little bit of chess here, North Ringwood, to try and work the ball forward. It's in the hands of Whelan, and he's just going to just slam it onto the boot. And he trusted Shepherd to take the mark. He did just that. Gets it inside forward 50, and the kick was wayward, and it's been marked by Mitch Sertzikos.
So here's Sertzikos. The back half will find a target there in Josh Treby. Out at half back here for Bayswater. Trailing by 8 points at the moment. Short kick back to Sertzikos. Didn't hit him on the full, so had a bit of work to do. Back to Treby, and then back to Searle. out at full back, and they'll switch it to the other side now. A mark taken, then they're off. The handball there from Hoare, and they go down the line through Young. Got a play here in Ben White. He's got a player open as well in Hasbrook, as if he's able to win this contest. He's got a teammate there in Higgins to help him out, and Young as well, who's done a fair bit of running. Pass it off, and here's Mags in a tough position. Centres it. Chance of Shoto. Punch from behind. Falls to Sertzikos. Handball over the top. Here's Kruger all by himself, and a shot on goal. And that's the one Bayswater need. 8-4. 52 to North Ringwood, 8-6-54. Margin back to 2 points. 13.5 minutes gone in this third quarter.
Great transition by Bayswater then. They took that football right out of the back 50, right down and scored a goal.
Goal number 13 for the year for Lockie Kruger. He's been very, very handy since coming across from the basin for the Bayswater.
Boundary.
Let's go to the boundary line.
Thanks, Jared. I feel like everything that Robbie Nahas commanded of his troops all the time, Bayswater are nailing to an absolute T at the moment. They're doing fantastically, and they're well and truly on here.
I would say so. Only the 2-point deficit now for the Waters as they continue to push back in this arm wrestle. Castricum gets the tap down. Kruger right out of the centre, bursts away, puts the afterburners on, finds Galvin over the top. Handball inside forward 50 from him. Schroeder's the man. He's got Nahas to beat. Had help there. Back to Galvin. Kick towards the top of the goal square. Jared Cameron had to stand and deliver. Couldn't quite take the mark underneath it. That was great defensive work there by Joel Nathan. And it's going to be a ball up at the top of the goal square.
Oh, North Ringwood very lucky there. Bayswater had plenty of numbers.
Mark Hardy be happy the way they just took that out of the centre and run the ball.
That's what they'll want. And a tap towards the goal square. Dangerous position. Flynn, he's got to be composed here. Gets the handball out to Braunthal. Now to Dylan Van Unen. God, they're working out of a phone box here. He just gave it straight to Cotty. And now to Treby. Can he kick a second? No. Unfortunate for Bayswater. He just missed that one. Huge opportunity gone begging there. 8-5-53. They only trail by 1 point now, the Waters. North Ringwood 8-6-54. 15 minutes gone in this third quarter.
Two early goals in this quarter to North Ringwood, but the momentum swung back now to Bayswater. They're controlling everything.
Certainly right, as Robbie Nahas, the kick in there. Big game. Bayswater, as we've said it a million times, just have to win to stay alive in Division 1, and that kick is out of bounds on the full. Payne took the mark, but was certainly behind the line. So Kruger, who's been big in this quarter, will send Bayswater. They've got a player open. Out the back there, mark almost taken by Nathan. And they've got players out here. So a kick out there by Church. Finds a target, and they're off here. Sold him the candy. And he's off now, takes a bounce, passes off to Flynn. Flynn passes it back to Sharp, and Sharp inside 50, and a mark taken by that man who is an absolute star, Ben Livingston.
Yeah. Well, North
Ringwood
Ringwood said, you run the ball and did the last goal. We'll show you we can run the ball as well, and that's what it is there.
Well, that's when both sides have looked really good, and that was well done there by North Ringwood.
It's a really good match game to watch today.
There was a mention of a draw earlier today?
Well, potentially, as Livingston comes in, and scores might be level if it goes through for a behind, but stays in play. Bayswater under a bit of pressure, and Searle sees it out of bounds for a boundary throw. And did anyone pick the draw?
I thought I heard that the Oracle picked this one as a draw.
I think it was a different game as we go boundary side to John O'Ven.
Yeah, Ryan, that was related to a different game. I can't remember exactly which one it was. By the way, what did Oracle say about
I'm just going to cut you off in a second because North Ringwood might be a chance for a goal here, passing it into a dangerous spot. Young tries to take on a couple of North Ringwood players. He's caught in tackles. We go back to the boundary, John O'Ven.
Sorry, Ryan. What did the Oracle say about this game?
I'll have to double check that one. I don't remember. So a throw up here. Van Unen passes it back. He's got a player open who will have a snapshot on goal, and this one is a minor score. Now's your scores level. 8 goals, 6 apiece, 54 each. 17 minutes gone in this third quarter. I will check the Oracle.
I noticed Stubbs back on the ground, so he served his yellow card.
Mm-hmm. The Oracle did tip North Ringwood by 19 points in this one.
Mm-hmm. Either way, I want to know where Brett Beston is because he can't he can't get to a game that's been this close all year.
I'm sure we'll be watching at home at the moment.
So this is Joel Galvin. Takes the kick. Passes it there to Young, and really ugly ball there. That's not the sort of exit that you want there. Hasbrook tried to make it okay. Got it back to Cotty. And the one-on-one there, it just falls out the back of that. Mags is back onto it. And the tackle was laid on him. Jackson
Just quickly, I was wrong. It's 8-7, 8-5. I thought Bayswater in front by a point.
So
forget about the draw stuff.
It's over, no draw. So Schroeder couldn't quite take that mark. Mags has to clean up the mess. Galvin just fumbled it at the critical stage. The ball finds its way back to Mags, and it's Kruger all by himself on the outer wing. He can go for a bit of a run, bit of a bounce. There's a second bounce. He's pursued by Leach. He's got a bit of a roadblock to work his way around, and he's gone too far. Kruger once again bites off a little bit more than he can chew.
Well done by Leach, because he chased his ass off to catch up.
Credit to him, too, for taking him on, but he just unfortunately went too far.
Let's go to the boundary line.
Thank you, Jared. Gents, I don't know if you can hear it from down here on the effects mic, but the crowd is definitely lifted here.
It's good to hear. That is very good to hear. It's definitely starting to heat up this game as Bayswater have turned it over once again. It's gone back to Hoare. He's got a kick towards centre-half forward. It was completely ill-directed and marked by O'Donnell so easily. He gets the kick now. Hoare has another chance, but he was beaten to the mark there by Sharp, who's done well so far. Sharp gets the kick inside into the corridor. Harry Flynn takes the mark. VFL experience on this man. Earlier in this year, playing for Collingwood, I believe. His kick was a little indifferent. Inside forward 50. Stubbs was there off the ground there. It was Patterson. But Bayswater stopped that in its tracks, and it's Treby to take the relieving mark outside of defensive 50. He's got a man over the top. They could be out here. Bayswater through McLeod. McLeod gets the kick. Mark taken. McLeod gets the handball back, and his kick finds Kruger in the centre of the ground. Bit of a corridor option, and North Ringwood is flooded back, so Kruger's going to have to be a bit smart here to find Schroeder. That was a great kick into the pocket, and Schroeder made the mark look absolutely good.
That was perfect football coming out of the back line. You hit the wing, you go to the corridor, and a big kick over defender to your forward.
That was excellent stuff, and it was Kruger as well with the kick inside forward 50, so definitely making his mark on this game.
Yeah.
Hayden Schroeder, he's kicked 2 goals already. This for his third. It's been 1 per quarter for this man. This will be his 11th for the year. So pretty prolific here for the Bayswater. On the left, it's just drifted to the right. And just a minor score there for Bayswater. And it's back to a 1-point lead for the Saints.
As we said, 8-6 forward, 8-7 20 and a half minutes gone in this third quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Robin Nahas to take the kick in. Obviously has a injury earlier in that second quarter, has been able to respond fine as he looks to be in a bit of trouble. Take a bounce, and he's happy to see this over. Had McLeod right there and couldn't get past him, so smart player, and was happy to see that over the line. So it is now scores level, 8-7 55 apiece, and we're back at the same spot we were about 30 seconds ago. Nahas to take it out from the full back spot and kick it towards their half-back line, onto a teammate there who's able to pick it up. Got Sharp open, goes to a teammate in Van Oonen instead as they link up down the line. Chance there for Nathan to go forward. And
put down after he
blown a whistle, so it's 25, is it?
No,
downfield. So North Ringwood to take this. There's a chance now. Meekly.
Bayswater's flooded back.
Scores level here at Bayswater Oval. Coming up to 22 minutes gone in this third quarter. Send them forward, North Ringwood. Out the back, Searle. Try to get a hand to it, a bit in front. Strong hand. Be able to take a juggling mark. And North Ringwood, a chance for a goal to put themselves back in front. Cullinan's a target here. He's in the pack of players. Instead, it's a teammate there who picked it up and passed it off down the line. And Searle on full back. And I believe that was Jackson who was able to pass that off for North Ringwood.
So Ben Searle finds a relieving option there in Sertsikos. He's been pretty good today, Sertsikos. Always finds a lot of the ball for Bayswater. Coming over the top of Sharp there was Schroeder. No mark taken. Ball goes over the boundary line. 22 and a half minutes gone in the third quarter on Eastland EFNL game day. Bayswater 8-7 55. North Ringwood, the exact same score. Castricum versus Jackson in the ruck once again. Ball finds ground. Kruger finds ball, and the umpire will come in and ball it up once more.
Just some results around the grounds if we can. Kilsyth 40 to Scoresby 22. Croydon North leading by a goal, and Surrey Park 107 to 15. Forest Hill.
Inside forward 50 once again for North Ringwood. Up goes Searle again. He takes those intercept marks so easy. He does that with aplomb.
Well, they're out here.
And they are out indeed. Ryan Higgins, he's got a man to share it with in Treby. Treby just had to take a bit of a backward step there and find McLeod. They were held up by North Ringwood, who dropped back well. However, there's an option there in Cameron. Tom Cameron finds the handball backwards to McInerney. They're trying to find the corridor. You saw his eyes darting there. Had to go forward, and it was cut off by Jaden Van Union. And now North Ringwood go forward once again. This is O'Donnell. O'Donnell, it's a bit of a contest there. Searle tried to take the intercept mark once again. He does that so well. Harry Flynn ends up with it. Tackled by two and a ball up just outside of North Ringwood's forward line.
I tell you what, the intensity in this game has really lifted.
It has indeed. I am looking forward to this final quarter as we are ticking toward three-quarter time. And Searle again. Oh, he's really made his mark on the game in this quarter. Another intercept mark. How's the disposal? He saw Treby there. It just came off the boot a little bit wrong, and the mark's been taken there by Patterson.
Well done by Patterson. One hand up.
That was an impressive mark. So what's the kick going to be? To the hot spot it goes. Oh, the Flyers go up again. Is it Searle again?
I think it came off the hands of the North Ringwood player first. So I think Meekley had a fair chunk of it too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so the ball up is the resulting situation. Cullinan just about got the tap down. Let's go to the boundary line with Dylan Smith.
Yeah, I think Searle actually turned that ball over on purpose so we could take another intercept mark on the way back in.
Boosting his stats.
Yeah, he's doing well at that. Kruger just tried to find a bit of space there. Got the handball away as he was being tackled. Didn't go to anyone in particular. Trying to fight his way through there was Cameron. That was good. Got it back to Kruger. And outside a defensive 50 base, what it goes. Running back onto it, however, this is Meikle. He's got to contend with Tsertsikos. Got the handball over the top for Nahas. Was able to run onto it, finds the right boot, and the mark's been taken by Sharp. North Ringwood to try and move forward once again. Scores level, of course, so every contest here inside forward 50 could be crucial. Whelan was tackled, got rid of it, and there's three-quarter time. Stubbs is absolutely... No, that's Flynn, in fact.
Flynn, yeah.
He looks absolutely exasperated with the turn of events there. The siren going, preventing any further shots at goal for North Ringwood. We've got a classic final quarter coming up because scores are level here at Bayswater Oval. It's Bayswater 8-7-55, North Ringwood the exact same score. Ryan Long with the goal kickers.
For Bayswater, Schroeder has 3 goals. McInerney, Coddy, Treby, Kruger, Hasbrook, all with 1 each. And jumping in for North Ringwood, all single goal kickers, Cullinan, Flynn, Leach, Nahas, Milne, Livingston, Whelan and Shepherd. We've got a massive last quarter to come. It is scores level here at Bayswater Oval, 8-7-55 apiece. We'll be back for the final term of the Eastland Match of the round.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The first time I met the team at Tobin Brothers Funerals, I felt like I'd known them for years. They're so caring, honest and passionate. James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, sums it up best when he says,
Every day our people get out of bed to assist client families in their absolute time of need. Our people love what they do, and you will not find a more highly trained group of people than those at Tobin Brothers.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Bayswater Oval, Eastland match of the round, and it is all tied at three-quarter time, 8-7-55 apiece. So we've got a grandstand finish on our hands, a fantastic game here, and obviously a lot of importance on this one for Bayswater, who need this to stay alive in Division 1 for their finals hopes. And for North Ringwood, they win this, they'll be almost just about locked in for a top 5 spot. Just a couple of quick scores around the grounds before we go down to the Bayswater huddle. Out at Cheon Park, South Green back in front by 10 points. Noble Park, very handy lead over Park Orchard, 70-22. Vermont 55 to East Ringwood 28. Doncaster East 49 to Norwood 66. Doncaster back to 10 points behind against Blackburn, 28-38. That game is a little bit delayed due to an injury. Baldwin lead Berwick 61-35. We'll jump into some Division 1 scores if we can. Out at Mooroolbark Heights Reserve, Bayswater. Out at Heights Reserve, Mooroolbark 23 to South Belgrave 50, although they kicked 6 goals 14. Montrose a 21-point lead over Beaconsfield. Mitcham very comfortable lead over Croydon. Jumping into Division 2 just quickly before we go down to Mark Hardy. Heathmont skipped away 66-38 the Bears, as we have Mark Hardy now with Dylan Smith.
Yeah, just with Mark Hardy down here at the Bayswater huddle. Mark, how have you seen the game so far? It's looking like it's going to be a classic.
Yeah, absolute arm wrestle. I think if we win our contested footy, we win the game. If we don't, we give North Ringwood too many opportunities and they'll win the game. So, yeah, very tight.
It was a huge quarter there from Ben Searle. How did you see that performance from him? I thought it was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's been a little bit off the last couple of weeks, which I unlike Ben, but when he starts going for his marks and taking them, he kept us in the game for a good portion of that. So hopefully he'll take a few more across the board.
What do you think you have to do in this last quarter to get on top and win the match?
I think we've got to win contested footy. We've got to be efficient and hit targets. If we do that, we'll win the game. If we don't, we die.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks there to Dylan Smith with Mark Hardy. Big game ahead. Just a couple more results. Division 3. Fentra Gully 5-14-44 to Sylvan 7-1-43. So haven't put them away there. Fair Park 67 to Whitehorse 49, who will probably be going down now, relegated, because Coldstream have belted Warrandyte 72-18 at three-quarter time. Donvale lead Oakley District. We're going to be ready to go here from Bayswater Oval. Just a couple more scores. Waverley Blues 50-point lead over Knox. Templestowe 73 to East Burwood 15. Mulgrave 77 up French Gully 38. Baronia 71-38 Ringwood. And we are set to go for the last quarter here. Massive final term. A lot on the line for both sides. Finals spot up for grabs. So here we are, final quarter of the Eastland match of the round. 8-7-55 apiece. Jared Beanland, take us away.
I'm licking my lips to get stuck into this final quarter. It's going to be an absolute classic if this game has... if the rest of this game is any indicator. We'll get a secondary ball up to start this final quarter. Tim Castricum's done well in the ruck so far, the former Baldwin man. Van Unen has given away a high free kick there against White. And so it's Bayswater to get the first clearance of this final quarter. Ben White, the young man. He's done very well this year. Averages 28 disposals a game. And this one, a bit of an indifferent one as it falls out the back for Flynn. Shares it with Payne. Back to Flynn. Ball down the line. Coming out to meet it was Aaron Hoare. But his handball just ricocheted off a teammate back to the hands of Jaden Van Unen. But his kick was intercepted by McInerney. His kick just came off the boot, off the side of a boot. And crashing in there was Whelan. He had to contend with Tertsikos, and it'll be a ball up in North Ringwood's forward line. And here we go again. Cullinan got the tap down. Whelan tackled. Umpire will come in once more.
First goal, very important in here.
You'd have to say so indeed. So no real ruck contest in that situation. Coming in and taking possession was Leach. He was wrapped up. Here we go again. Cullen tapped it down. Whelan trying to bust his way through, throwing his weight around. But it was Mags who upended him. Another ball up.
That's a great battle, Kruger and Whelan.
Yeah, it's been very enticing throughout this whole game. Hoare was the one to get the clearing kick. Well, it wasn't particularly clearing. It wasn't even 15.
Yeah.
As
he put the foot up in the marking contest. That's what that was for.
There is a free kick.
Just noticed Sharp come off down to the rooms. I don't think there's anything too serious, but he's out of play at the moment.
So the free kick has ended up in the hands of Pat Dunn. Haven't called his name all that much this afternoon, but it's on his boot to make an impact in this final quarter. Can he kick the first for the last? It's a straight kick. Was it touched on the line? It was. So Bayswater breathe a sigh of relief as that all-important first goal goes begging for the Saints.
Great work by the goal umpire then. He was in the perfect position.
Absolutely. So 8-8 to 8-7, as Jared just said. 2.5 minutes gone in this last quarter. Who's going to throw the first punch? Here's Searle, who had a big third quarter. Will clear it out for Bayswater to a pack of players in front position. Couldn't quite take the mark there. Livingston out the back, and they could be on. A chance to go forward. A chance for Gelvin there. Joel Gelvin takes the mark, and he's got Higgins out by himself. He can have a shot from goal. A player all by himself. Almost touched. Treby still ends up with the footy. Kicks the goal, and Bayswater strike first. 9-7-61 to North Ringwood, 8-8-56. 3 minutes gone in that last quarter. And North Ringwood did well to almost intercept that, and that was, I believe, Nathan there to get the punch, but it fell into Treby's hands as we go boundary side to John O'Ven.
Thanks, Ryan. From three-quarter time aggressive, Robbie Nahas, this is definitely not ideal. Basically what he said was they got to, again, take advantage of that, 4-goal breeze. And they clearly haven't so far, so this is where the challenge presents itself for the Saints. At the moment, it's not looking good, so boys need to fire up.
Someone's birthday down there. I don't know if we're getting that on the effects, Mike. But
I could hear it. I hope we don't, though, because that's a copyrighted song.
Oh,
still,
no.
So
we're in trouble here.
It's actually not.
I wonder if it is in the public domain these days. Anyway, look, back to the actual footy as North Ringwood try to get the clearance. Great smother there by Tertsikos, but he seems to have hurt it himself. Bayswater will end up with it. Whelan tries to make a mess of that, though. He was tackled there by White, and the umpire will come in, ball it up. I think Tertsikos has gotten up and is okay by the looks of it. Jackson got the tap down, but it came straight to Tom Cameron, wrapped up by Whelan again. Jack Whelan in everything. So another ball up. 5-point lead to Bayswater. Castricum, former ball and man, tapped it down. But it's North Ringwood to get the clearance. Attacking the ball hard there was McInerney. Coming through once again, however, was Flynn. Did well enough. And it's going to end up with Bayswater here. Kick it out to Mags. Takes the mark. He's going to go inboard to Cotty. Aaron Cotty. He's going to go further, wider again over to Alex Young. And he's looking for options there. It looks like he's going to go straight inside forward 50. The target was McLeod. Spoil came over the top. It's fallen for Hasbrook. Great tackle there,
Round the shoulder.
And it was round the shoulder. Dylan Van Unen, little unlucky there perhaps, tackling the smaller man. Hasbrook sends it forward. Who's the target? Who have they got down there? Castricum is there. No mark taken by him. Nahas feeds the ball out to Nathan. Gets it back from him. Out to Flynn. He's going to centre the ball into the corridor. It's an aggressive kick. Will it come off? Falls into the hands of Tom Cameron for Bayswater, however. Gets the kick towards Cotty. Wasn't 15. Stepped around his man. Aaron Cotty from 50 out. Couldn't make the most of that one. Drifted left and just the one behind. So it's one straight kick.
Bayswater doing all the peppering at the moment.
9-8-62 to 8-8-56. Lead by a goal, Bayswater. 5 coming up to 6 minutes gone in this final term for the Eastland match of the round. What have North Ringwood got left? They go long towards the broadcast side, and Cullen in that strong mark in the pack. And his teammate there, Jackson, almost tried to take it from him. Cullen will take the kick out at the half-back line here for North Ringwood. Go down the broadcast wing here. Out the back there, punch from behind did Patterson into space, and they've got some players out. One of them Livingston, but the kick towards him just was never going to happen, and that kick falls in the hands of Thomas Cameron for Bayswater. Out at the half-back line, he finds Mags. They just slow things down as they look to go forward themselves. Here's Cotty. Had plenty of the footy today. The far wing at the moment, out of Bayswater Oval. He kicks down the line. A mark that's almost taken there by Gelvin. He wasn't paid it. Passed off here from North Ringwood. They go back to go forward. Here's Jackson. Again goes back. They look at a short kick to Flynn. Right at centre half back here for North Ringwood. He had Nahas running past, wanting the footy, demanding the footy. Chooses not to give it to him, and that's a beautiful kick in the middle of the ground to Patterson. Well, if you're going to burn off obviously the coach, then you're going to have to kick it well, and he's done exactly that. Inside 50, looking for Cullinan. Bounce, hit the ground. Broathnell passed it off. Running through here is Sharp, back to Cullinan. Now a chance for Stubbs. Got his handball out, and he almost caught in a tackle there, did a North Ringwood player. And Bayswater, they flock in numbers, and McInerney will bring his opponent down. Inside 50 here for North Ringwood. 7 coming up to 8 minutes gone. 9-8 to 8-8. Bayswater lead.
Saints are going to have to push for a goal here to even things up. Spilt out the back there. That was good stuff by Dunn. He's got the loose ball into the pocket. Pouncing on it was Nathan. He got the handball over the top there to Livingston, and there's the goal that North Ringwood needed. Scores level once again.
Gee, there wasn't much that Bayswater could do then. That ball that was kicked to that pocket, it bounced perfectly. It bounced to the boundary line. It came back in and it bounced into the goal square. That is just luck of the bounce. But it was a great goal, and it puts them back level now.
9-8, 62 apiece. What a game we've got out here for the Eastland match of the round. Going back to the middle now. Big game here. 9-8, 62. 8.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. A draw would be pretty much no good for Bayswater.
Yep. They really are fighting for their lives.
Actually, you know what? They would give them a mathematical chance, but I don't think so. They need to win this one. As Van Unen, the clearance forward, and understanding under that was Scott McInerney. Take a strong mark at centre half back for Bayswater. It just kicks it down the line, looking for a target. Got one in Burke.
Gee, that ball hung up in the air perfectly for him, didn't it?
Burke did well to take the mark. Passed it off to White, who was running past. His kick is going to be cut off. And North Ringwood survive here. Gelvin was down there in that area, but wasn't in the right position for it. As North Ringwood just go down the line, a pack of players out the back there. Big fly, no one took the mark. Ball falls out. Now's a chance. Here's Sharp, back on the field, passes it off. They've got players running out. Here's Braunthal. He just decides to pass it off. Very smart decision. Didn't blaze away because he had Jackson there leading for the footy, and he takes the mark and a chance to put North Ringwood in front.
Gee, great vision then. Great vision to see his forward coming towards him.
Well, it's very easy just to blaze away and have a shot yourself, but as the reliable Jackson kicked a goal last week in the last quarter against Montrose in that tight one. This time, to put North Ringwood in front, it'll be a minor score. It'll still put them in front, but just by a point. 9-9, 63, 9-8, 62 Bayswater. 10 minutes gone in this last quarter.
As they say, a handy point.
Very handy.
So Ben Searle, he started to impress himself on the game, especially in that third quarter. Experience starting to win out. The way he reads the ball has been excellent today, and it's him with the kick in. It's a long one down the line. Castricum, the tallest man in that contest. Well, actually, he was next to Cullinan, so bit of a line ball there on that call, but Castricum was the one to take the mark. Down the line once again. They're going to try and do this through the most conventional method, kick and mark, but the contest was a bit indifferent there for Bayswater, and it's just gone over the boundary line for a throw-in. 11 minutes gone in this final quarter. 1 point lead to North Ringwood. Bayswater fighting for their lives in Division 1, or not in Division 1, but to make the Division 1 finals. Tackle laid on Whelan. That was well done by Kruger. Another ball up.
How many types of games have we had in Division 1 in this year with these sort of sides? Been very close. Quite a few.
Yeah, absolutely. Out into space for Sharp there for North Ringwood. Just feigned the handball and got the kick towards the corridor. It's in a dangerous spot here, but North Ringwood, are they good enough to maintain possession? It's a 2-on-1 battle, but the help arrives in Dylan Van Unen. He was tackled. That was well done by Treby just to hold them up. And they're going to have to divide the points in this particular contest because the umpire came in to ball it up. Up we go again. Cullinan gets the tap down. Jaden Van Unen this time. Floating kick towards the forward line for North Ringwood. Standing under it was Searle. Just got the handball away to Hoare. Man on the outside there for Bayswater was wrapped up. North Ringwood applying the clamps.
Gee, that was a great tackle by Broughtonall there. The guy with the football, he tried to duck under it, but he went low and he wrapped him up.
So the tap went straight down to Jaden Van Unen. Whelan was tackled, and it's spilt now out to Hasbrook. He gave the ball straight to Nahas, however. North Ringwood go forward again. Diving mark taken there. Great intercept by Bayswater. Shocking kick, however. Galvin made it look good. Passed it off here to McLeod. McLeod got it to Treby. He's the man in space, but he's got a couple to contend with there. He was able to get the kick away to a 2-on-1 situation against his team, and O'Donnell was able to wrap it up. And Nahas to take the mark on the relieving exit for North Ringwood. Oh, a bit of an iffy kick there from Nahas. Just marked by Flynn. Nearly out on the full.
Flynn has had a great last quarter for North Ringwood.
He has. He's been everywhere, hasn't he? Castricum just about took that mark. Couldn't quite affect the contest in the way he wanted. So North Ringwood through Whelan, now through Braunthal. And back to Braunthal it goes. He couldn't keep it in, however. And we'll get a boundary throw in right in front of the interchange bench for North Ringwood.
And I think they wanted looking for Galvin there up forward, and he slipped over and just wasn't in the right position, so missed opportunity here. And here's Flynn again off to Braunthal, who's also been pretty big, and that's a smart kick and a mark not taken, but falls out the back. Stubbs got his handball away, and it was actually a throw according to the umpire. That's holding the ball. So Searle here, who's been massive this afternoon, will take the kick at the half back line for Bayswater. 9-8-62 to 9-9-63. 13 and a half minutes gone in this last quarter. North Ringwood lead by a point. Couldn't get much closer than this. There's Ben Searle. We'll just send it down the line. Standing under this is Jackson.
Chopping of the arms.
He does get the free kick in. Pass it off to Nahas. Didn't hit him on the chest, but he still had time to pick it up, and that kick, it's a 1-on-4 contest here, so Bayswater should win out, but they fumble it around, and Jack Whelan ends up with it. Pass it off to Braunthal, inside 50, looking for Cullinan, in the front position. Strong mark. Matthew Cullinan has a chance to put North Ringwood 7 points in front with 15 minutes gone in this fourth quarter.
I really like the work of the small forwards for North Ringwood. You know, you got Stubbs, you got Broughtonall, you know, and Whelan. You know, they're all really hard in under and getting a lot of the football.
He barely marked that. It just rolled down his chest.
That passage of play started from Jack Whelan, and now Cullinan will line up for his second of the goal. He kicked the first of the game. And this one to put North Ringwood 7 points in front. Makes no mistake. 10-9-69 North Ringwood. Bayswater 9-8-62. 15 minutes gone in this last term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. What has Bayswater got left? Well, this is it. This is your big test. Your finals on the line.
I know. North Ringwood.
They've got to pull something out now.
Yeah, let's go to the boundary line.
Thanks, boys. From an inspirational point of view, Robbie just simply said to the North Ringwood boys, I don't need to motivate you on what's at stake here. Each of you blokes know exactly what's going on, and it seems right now it's finally clicked. Here come the Saints.
Well, I feel like Mark Hardy would probably be able to say the same thing. Everyone at Bayswater would know the implications of a loss here. From that clearance, tackle by Cameron, laid on Church. We'll get a secondary ball up. 15 and a half minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Bayswater fighting to keep their finals chances alive. It's over to them after the last goal was to North Ringwood, but it's Jaden Van Unen with the clearance there for North Ringwood. Hall was able to impact that contest. It spilled out to Shepherd. Can he get the check side on the right to go straight through the goals? No, it was out on the full.
Out on the full.
So taking the kick in here is going to be Luke Scott for Bayswater. Late in. And Bayswater, they're going to have to build well from here. It's going to be a hard transition, no doubt, with North Ringwood being such a good defensive side. We'll see how that pans out. Oh, great mark taken there by McLeod. Good, strong hands in a difficult situation. He went the corridor, however, but Nahas cut it off, got the handball away. Kick inside forward 50 for Ringwood. Oh, the target was Cullinan. Couldn't quite take it. Fed the handball out to Shepherd, and Shepherd could be sending Bayswater packing.
Give that goal to Cullinan. Just the work there he get to get the ball down front and centre, and a hand pass over the top, and another goal to North Ringwood.
So North Ringwood go up 11-9-75 to Bayswater 9-8-62. It really is over to the Waters now to see if they can respond. This
Don't
is
worry,
a huge
boys.
challenge.
Bayswater won't lay down. They'll come back.
Well, no, they've been in this position a few times this afternoon and been able to fight their way back and go back to that halfway through that second quarter.
They've had a lot of close games this year, Bayswater. They're used to it.
Yep, they certainly are. So they need the next one, though. Back in the middle. Castricum against Jackson. Ball hits the deck. Might not come out. Might get a secondary ball up. 17 and a half minutes gone. North Ringwood with a 13-point lead. Still plenty of time. Van Unen caught in a tackle there by Cameron. Will get wrapped up and we'll get another ball up in the middle of the ground. It's back again. Jackson taps it forward. Got it to a teammate who's dispossessed. We'll get another ball up again. 13 points. The North Ringwood lead. They sit fifth on the ladder right now, a game and a half ahead. That was a good tap out. Van Unen gets North Ringwood inside 50. And they might be just running over the top of Bayswater at the moment. Here's Stubbs, who just sends a long kick off the boot, and that's out of bounds on the full.
He kicked it into the car park of the Bayswater
So it'll be Scott
Hotel.
here for Bayswater.
It's only about a metre away from your car, Ryan.
Yes, it is, in the same position again.
Oh, shocking kick there by Scott. He's turned it right over, and the mark's been taken by Jason Sharp.
He's been a very serviceable player all day too.
He uses the ball really well, and he's very composed when he's under pressure.
Yeah.
And this is about as high pressure as you're going to get. Jason Sharp. He's not kicked a goal for the day yet. He's got a bit of an angle to negotiate there, and he's going to kick it from about 35 out, I would imagine. In the long sleeves. This to make things very, very difficult for Bayswater. They'll be holding their breath here at Bayswater Oval, and they're going to let the breath out in a sigh of exasperation as Jason Sharp has put pay to Bayswater's chances.
Well, that was just a brilliant finish and a poor mistake and a really dangerous position to do so. May just gone the wrong option in that kick out from full back or from the boundary line. But looking at the margin now, 19 points. Probably looking at the 4 goals that they need here in this last 10 minutes of play. So certainly asking for a lot, but if they get a quick one, you never know. I've got to be aware that time is ticking now. The tap out there will fall into the hands of Flynn, who's been quite impressive himself. Falls out to Sertzikos here for Bayswater. Got it to Higgins. And now here's a chance. They might be able to link up. They just turn it over. Hand passed it back to North Ringwood in Milne or O'Donnell. And Jack Whelan just happy to see it out of bounds. And they're happy to take a couple of minutes off the clock as well if they can. Here and there. A few seconds. They lead by 19 points. Very close to locking up a top 5 spot.
I've liked this quarter from Jaden Van Unen. He's gotten quite a few clearances and used the ball well.
He's been big. As here's Galvin, caught straight away. And we'll get another ball up on that far side. About 80 metres from home for Bayswater. 20 minutes gone in this last quarter. Galvin got the tap down, looking for Cameron. Nothing happening in North Ringwood. Be happy with this. They just take that precious time away from Bayswater. We need every second at the moment. Tap from Galvin. It's going nowhere. Jackson threw it on the boot for North Ringwood going forward, and it works out all right. Here's Shepherd. Gets past a couple and gets his handball off, and they're still in possession of the ball here as they go forward inside 50. One more goal would absolutely seal it, and out the back is Cullinan. And this will be it if he kicks it.
You know that old saying, big guys don't get any shorter as the game goes on.
Absolutely. So Cullinan looking for goal number 3. And for North Ringwood to send this out to a 25-point margin and end Bayswater's season officially. They won't be able to come back from a 25-point margin with 10 minutes to go. So he's can finish Bayswater here. Cullinan misses. 20-point margin.
Boundary.
Does it go boundary side?
No. Sorry, Ryan. Just check your text messages, mate.
Thanks, Jono. As we tick into the 22nd or 21-minute mark.
So Ben oh, what a mark! Oh, not quite taken by McLeod. Gee, that was a great effort. But Bayswater are out here. Treby takes the mark at centre half forward. He's got a man out. It's Sertikos. Takes the mark. Runs into the open goal square. Bayswater still in it.
12-point play.
What a mark there. Oh, what an attempted mark there by Cameron. Great play there by Bayswater. Just caught North Ringwood napping. Mitch Sertikos, what a run there! Yeah. Gets his first goal of the game, and well earned too, because he's been a star for them today.
So back in the middle, it's not over. 14 points the margin, 10-8-68 Bayswater, 12-10-82 North Ringwood. Can they get another quick one and make this really interesting? Oh. Here's Galvin. Just got out of the ruck and inside 50. Nahas is there. So is Schroeder. Schroeder might get to it first. He's got 2 North Ringwood players to beat. Here's Robbie Nahas. He just dropped it.
Yep, got caught.
So Schroeder on the arc here. 45, 50 metres out. We'll just load up towards the top of the square. They need a mark. Who's there? Standing under it. Castricum. Oh, we were seconds away from calling Bayswater's season, and now this would put it back to 8 points.
I told you they'd come back.
You said it, Ray.
They won't lay down.
He's got to kick this, though. No. Castricum to line up. Pretty much right in front, about 20 metres out. The kick on the way is a floater to the right, and he's missed. And that is very, very...
Yeah,
I heard someone had a handy point, but they're still...
that is a bad miss.
That is.
They're still 13 points down, so 10-9-69, North Ringwood 12-10-82, and that might be costly.
So Nahas to kick it in. Gee, the ground here was like a balloon with the air being let out of it. So I thought that was a mark to Cullinan. Cullinan thought that was a mark to Cullinan. The umpire disagreed with both of us.
I think it was touched by the guys flying for them. He just stood down behind them.
I think you're right there. So Jackson got the tap down anyway. Flynn got the handball out in front of Leach. And Braunthal comes in to help out. Gets it out to Whelan. Oh, he's just kicked it into a nester. Oh, Scott just let it go out the back there. That's unfortunate for Bayswater as Stubbs comes in and kicks a point. Oh. Heart in your mouth stuff there, especially if you're a Bayswater fan.
This season just hanging on by the thread. 10-9-69 to 12-11-83. Bayswater just going to move this quickly as they do, and they're going to come up to us on the broadcast side here, looking for a teammate there in Searle. Was in front position. Cullinan might be given a free kick here for a push. It actually will be going against Cullinan, and they'll be going to Searle for Bayswater.
Yeah.
And smart play here by Meekley to just hold that up and slow it down and let North Ringwood get some numbers back. Schroeder, strong hands, front position. He's had a big afternoon. Got Gelvin in the middle by himself, takes the mark, passes it off, and here's a chance for Cameron to go inside 50. The kick, it's a 1-on-3 contest, but it bounces in favour of Bayswater. Here's Cotty, takes on Nahas, caught with it, falls out to Van Noonan, pass it off, and they've got some numbers here, North Ringwood, so they can steady here on the wing. Chance there for Gelvin to make an impact. We'll get a ball up right in front of us. Centre wing, 10-9-69, 12-11-83, 25 minutes gone.
Is that Nahas down again?
Yeah, down again.
Is that a heavy day?
As Gelvin got the tap out, but it went straight to Sharp for North Ringwood. Takes on a couple of Bayswater players. Gets it to Brothnell. Couldn't quite control it, and that's out of bounds.
Tried to bounce it to himself.
He almost got there too, so we'll keep an eye on Nahas. 25 come up to 26 minutes gone. They're running out of time. Bayswater need a quick one.
They really are. Season on the line here. Season defining stuff here for the Waters. White taken without it.
Yeah.
Holding the ball.
Yeah.
Boundary to John O'Ven.
Take your time. You got all day. Take your time.
Well, it seems one thing that Robbie Nahas said to me at quarter time, he never comes off, and that rings true because the trainer comes on and the trainer comes off. He's still on the field, that man in the number 28.
So Jaden Van Noonan turned it over with the kick inside 50. The intercept mark was taken by Galvin, and 25. He's going to be marched 25 metres down the line. Handy stuff for Bayswater here. High ball towards the wing. Time ticking down as Kruger takes the mark. It was really good under pressure there. His spearing ball into the corridor is going to come unstuck. However, it was Will, and he did so well there to impact that contest. But it's holding the ball. So great tackle laid by Cameron there to make sure of it. He's going to go sideways. I don't know if that's the direction you want to go at this stage of the game, but Galvin just gives it straight up. That was Patterson. Hands it off to Sharp. He doesn't know which way to go. He's turned himself back into trouble there through Treby with the tackle. He managed to get the handball out. And it's Van Noonan to find Patterson on the wing there. A relieving mark taken by North Ringwood. It just gets the handball away from his hands and knees out to Braunthal. And his handball out in front of Sharp comes unstuck in front of the interchange bench for North Ringwood.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think it is.
Minutes gone. They needed a goal in that last play. Jared, as the ball brought back into play. Here's Gelvin, grabbed it out of the ruck. Tried to find White, and there's your siren. It's all over. Bayswater season's done, and North Ringwood are one step closer to locking up a Division 1 final spot. 12-11-83, defeating Bayswater 10-9-69. A fantastic game, and North Ringwood a big last term. They were challenged. Bayswater got the first of the last quarter, and they responded big time, Ray, and that's a big win, and they are so close to locking up that final spot. They'll be hard to miss out from here.
It was a great last quarter by North Ringwood. 4 goals for, and Bayswater kicked 2 goals too. But what a fantastic game of football. Credit must go to all players in both sides out there, because all day long they threw themselves into the contest. Some players there got hit with a brick wall, and they still get up and go on. It was a fantastic game, and good luck to North Ringwood getting the points.
Yeah, definitely there. As we said, one step closer to a finals appearance, and I believe we've got Robin Nahas down there with John O'Ven.
We do indeed, Ryan. Robbie, you said that was fun. Describe the feeling out there, mate.
Because, I mean, you know, you're in the wars a bit there as well.
Yeah, we got challenged. I said to them up. Just got to win it again. So, yeah, last in the second quarter was probably the only bit of the game I think we struggled with. 5-10 minute period just before half time, they just piled in a few goals. But I think for three quarters, we pretty much controlled the game.
The addresses in the quarter time breaks, very similar in what you wanted the boys to do. And the third quarter, you know, you really wound the boys up and got the boys very pumped up. And how relieved are you for the boys to deliver on that?
I'm actually not relieved at all. Like it's a funny feeling at the moment. Early in the year, I was really anxious about what we were going to produce. But now, over the last 7 weeks, I've got a complete faith in that they understand the process and they trust the process. So I've got no worries about coming out now anymore and worrying about what my players are going to produce because I know that they're on the right track. So win, lose or draw, it's irrelevant.
So the process in the next couple of weeks is just to continue on your merry way, basically.
Yeah, one sec.
Good stuff, Robbie Nahas.
Yeah, just the main things that you've done.
Awesome, mate. Sorry, mate. Cheers. Have a good rest of your day. Back to you guys.
There's John O'Ven with Robin Nahas, the senior coach of the North Ringwood Football Club, who They've done a fantastic job this season, and earlier on in the year we thought it'd be very unlikely to see them play in a final series with the way they started, and since then they've been fantastic in the second half of the season. They've been very good at home all year, but now they've started to be able to pick up wins up on the road too.
And I want to point out as well, 12-11-83 is a really good score for North Ringwood to post as well against a team like Bayswater who can play this ground really well. They know how to defend this ground, and North Ringwood just blasted right through that.
Yeah, and for Bayswater, Ray, they can hold their head high because I thought for 3.5 quarters they really fought hard. That even in the last, even 4 quarters, they fought hard all afternoon. It was just unfortunate for them, and North Ringwood, I think, just are the better side at the end of the day.
Well, that's right, and look, unfortunately, one side's got to win, one side's got to lose, and unfortunately for Bayswater, no, they threw everything at that. I think Mark Hardy be happy, not happy that they didn't win, but happy with the effort of his young side.
Yeah, they didn't leave anything on the park, did they?
Yeah, no, they didn't. They were fantastic all afternoon. We've got plenty to unpack in the post-game part of this show. We've got the Sports Go Eastland player of the game. We've got our Tobin Brothers goal of the day. That mid-air shot, that's got to be the winner, I would imagine.
We can call it now, I reckon.
Matthew Shepherd. It was Matthew Shepherd.
Matthew Shepherd in the third quarter.
That has to be. So he can already lock away that. We'll get to our votes shortly, which will decide the Sports Go Eastland Best of the Player. Also hang around because all the scores around the grounds in the EFNL will certainly be getting to across this afternoon. We going to an ad break first, or we are going to an ad break, so we will be back shortly. At the moment here, it is full time here at Bayswater Oval. Bayswater 10-9-69 have gone down to North Ringwood 12-11-83.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
And Jack, have you seen probably the second half of the year, maybe a little bit slow in that first, probably 3 or 4 games, but since then, your form, the side's form has almost been flawless. Even obviously at Qualmy Reserve is a ground you play really well, but now you're starting to win some big games away from home too. And sitting fourth on the ladder after this weekend. You're almost there, probably one win away from a final spot, locking that up. It's been a pretty impressive run from your boys.
Jack, mate, Jared Bainland here. Looking through the season and the scores that you guys have been posting throughout, you seem like a very defensive-minded team, defence first and not particularly high scoring. How does it feel for you guys to kick a score like 12-11-83 on a ground that Bayswater defend really, really well, and just coming up to the finals season as well? Is this going to make an impact in the way you guys prepare for the final series? Now, I don't know where you were on the ground when this happened, but I just want to bring up Matty Shepherd's goal in the third quarter. Whereabouts were you for that? Did you have a good front and centre view, or were you just behind the play?
Absolutely. Jack, fantastic result today. A big win for you and the club, and almost there for finals, so we wish you best for the last two games of the season and then beyond if you're there.
Appreciate it.
Awesome there. Jack Whelan, who had a fantastic game this afternoon, and I think he will feature in all of our votes in some sort of form. If we want to get to him now, we've got some scores around the grounds to get to, so I might go through a few while everyone gets their votes ready. We'll touch at Division 4 first. There's a couple of big games this afternoon in Surrey Park. Haven't got the final result here because my computer won't load, but a big win for them. 21-18, 144 to Forest Hill, 2-9-21. Kilsyth, this isn't updated, I don't believe, but 7-8-50 to 3-8-26. I think that's a three-quarter time score. And Croydon North Emlock, if this is final, have won their first game of the season, 9-13 to 6-10 Nuttawading. So we'll keep an eye on that because that might still be in play, as this game finished a little bit earlier than others. We'll jump into Division 3 before we get to our votes. Coldstream 12-14-86 defeated Warrandyte 3-6-24. So a big win there for Coldstream. Fair Park 9-13-67 defeated Warrandyte. Whitehorse, sorry. Warrandyte didn't lose twice. 7-7-49. Donvale 15-19, 109 defeated Oakley District 6-10-46. And Furniture Gully, very inaccurate, but they're going to get home 7-17, 59 to 7-3, 45. So that's 14 more scoring shots, but they kicked the same amount of goals. So interesting result out there. Let's do our votes now, and then before we jump into all the games around the ground. So, Ray, do you want to start with your 3-2-1?
Yeah, well, first I've got a couple of apologies. Apologies to Robin Nahas, also to Jaden Van Unen, and also to Ben Searle. They were all very good players, but I couldn't fit them in. One vote I gave to Tom Stubbs. I just thought his influence around the ground, over the whole game was very good. Another great player, Harry Flynn. He got the ball that often, and I like the way he uses it. And 3 votes to the man we just spoke to, Jack Whelan. From the very first bounce, he was in and under, does all the hard work, and I just love the way he plays.
Yeah, that's
Jared, your 3 votes on this one?
I mean, I have to agree with the 3 there. Definitely, I gave that to Will, and I gave 2. I gave 2 to Nahas. I think his composure down back set them up really well to go forward. Obviously, the leadership out on the ground is obviously always going to be unmatched. And I've noticed when going through the website, Robin Nahas has never had a best on. He's never had a time in best during the season.
Well, he does.
So he does
not want to give
exactly.
him to himself.
He doesn't want to give them to himself, and that's why I'm giving him 2 votes, because he doesn't give himself enough credit. And I gave 1 because I really like giving 1 to defenders. I gave 1 to Ben Searle.
John O'Ven, have you... I put you under the bus here. I don't know if you've done them yet. You've just joined us back again. But have you got your 3, 2, 1?
Well, look, I could give some honourable mentions for sure. So, Jason Sharp would get my 1 vote in a sense, because the role he played in the last 2 quarters, it really lifted the Saints. Robbie Nahas would again be in my votes as well, because he was just an absolute workhorse out there.
He was.
Now, I haven't seen him play since, the Richmond North Melbourne days. And this is...
He's still fit as ever, isn't he?
I was blown away by how, good he is at the local level, and just, absolutely fantastic. And, well, I guess we might as well be, unanimous in awarding, Jack Whelan the top votes as well. But look, a fantastic performance by the Saints today. There's no doubt about it.
Dylan Smith, who's behind us, I don't know if he has got the microphone. Have you got your votes, or at least your contender there for the Sportsco Best On Ground Award?
I've got to give the 3 to Jack Whelan. I mean, what a guy. Just a really, really great guy, and what a performance from him. So I'll give him the 3 votes. To be honest, I thought some of the guys from Bayswater were really good as well. I liked Lachlan Kruger's game. I thought he was excellent in the midfield, and when they got going in that 3rd quarter, he was one that was really there, as well as the interceptor in Benjamin Searle. So I could throw a couple of votes their way, but other than Whelan really stood out, and other than that, I thought it was a fairly even spread for a lot of the other players for the 2s and 1s.
Yeah, I thought a lot of players could have fit in my 1 and 2 votes. I'll give 1 to Ben Searle. I thought he was pretty big for Bayswater, kept him in that 3rd quarter, came into that last quarter all tied up, and I thought he was pretty impressive. He's had a great season as well. I'll give Jaden Van Noonen 2 votes as well. I thought he was massive in that second half too. A lot of clearance work, really big game from him. And the 3 votes to Jack Whelan. So a unanimous winner of the Sportsco Eastland Best On Ground Award. And Dylan, I might give you this to give it to him, because I see him down there and I don't want him to run off without the award. So that is for you, Jack, and congratulations on his performance. And also, before you go, we did give the Tobin Brothers goal of the day to Matt Shepherd for his mid-air kick in that 3rd quarter, which was a fantastic finish.
Just throw it to him over the balcony.
I just see him there. I don't know if he's got his bag. I don't want him to run off before we
talk about
give it out.
Things being in mid-air. Like, seriously.
Indeed. So, do we have any more scores around the grounds for this weekend of footy, Ryan?
We do, and just a quick update. Apologies to the viewers and listeners. I think we missed out on the audio for that interview. We lost internet right as Dylan got the player, so didn't quite get that all heard. So unfortunately, we missed that part. You may have heard a static noise or nothing in Radio Eastern 98.1 end, but if you're still hanging around, please do, because we've got another 12 minutes to go through some of the games, important games around the grounds, Jono.
I mean, talk about... Well, it is a game going around the grounds in Division 2. Mulgrave have just kicked away like I've never seen before. Like I don't think we quite expected a lot of things to happen today, and that was probably one of them. I mean, look at this Mulgrave, 19-11, 125. Upper Gully, 8-250, and that was half an hour ago.
I've got the updated one.
What is that?
22-16, 148, Upper Ferntree Gully, 12-4, 76. So,
jeepers.
Big win for the Lions, and a percentage booster well, which is important because East Burwood have lost percentage today. 10-5, 65, lost to Templestowe, 17-19, 121. They play Upper Ferntree Gully in the last round. Bit of a chance to earn back some percentage, but looking at the ladder, it's not updated right now, but they're going to probably be in a little bit of trouble. They need to hope that Mulgrave will lose next week to the side who won today in Heathmont, 12-10, 82 to the Basin, 6-11, 47. So the Jets keep their double chances alive. They'll be tied on points with Templestowe and the Waverley Blues, who obviously we said Templestowe won and the Waverley Blues 2 did win. 18-8, 116, 12-7, 79, so they boost their percentage as well. As expected, Bronya continue their streak going, 13-9, 87 to 6-10, 46. We'll jump into Division 1, and obviously this game here, Bayswater 10-9, 69 to North Ringwood 12-11, 83. Bayswater season is now done. North Ringwood actually jumped to 4th position on the ladder.
Beaconsfield went down to Montrose.
Loss to, Montrose, if my computer wants to load.
Sorry, Ryan. Are we still, Jared, going to consider that a bit of an arm wrestle in the end? Because, ultimately, the D's quite convincingly, but, surely at the start it became an arm wrestle, but...
It seemed like an arm wrestle from the beginning, from the scores that we were getting through, but I wouldn't be surprised if, Montrose were able to blow the game open. I don't know how fit Beaconsfield would be in terms of being able to go with them in a sort of a running sense.
I think, North Ringwood also looking at this game, they might look forward to next week's game against the Eagles with just a little bit more excitement.
Yep. So that's next week's game, is it?
It is, yeah.
Well, that's massive because that's 4v5 and a big chance for both sides to set themselves up, come towards finals time. And
it's at Home
actually,
Park.
So they'll still go and favourite Beaconsfield, but North Ringwood now proven that they can win on the road, which is a big thing today, and they've done that. And jumping into some of those results, we're trying to get back into it
quickly.
Division 1.
That could be a finals preview, the North Ringwood versus Beaconsfield game. Was that the point you were trying to make?
Yeah, well, yes. So it could be the first. We'll keep Premier till last, because I know you're wondering what the Roval score is there, Ray.
But keep them hanging.
Mitcham defeated Croydon 17-14, 116 to Croydon 9, 660. I believe Wanturna South has defeated Lilydale, but haven't got a final result on that one just yet. Muralbark 43 went down to South Belgrave 70. Montrose, as we said, defeated Beaconsfield. Let's jump into Premier Division. Very interesting result at Cheon Park. That sort of flipped and changed around, and my computer's going to die on me again. It's not working. No, I can't believe it.
It thinks you want Division 2.
I'd be fairly convinced, just of the Lilydale score, I'd be fairly convinced that the Devils have won this one.
Well, here you go for Premier Division out at Cheon Park, Ray. Roval 13-13, South Croydon 13-8. I don't know if that's final, but a 5-point lead to Roval. So I'll get
Hold on to your hat.
Maybe, Jono, you can chase that up on the South Croydon social page, see if they have updated and gone official on that result. Out at Edwin Flack Reserve, Baldwin 68 to Berwick 44. Noble Park have beaten Park Orchards 90-29. Blackburn 73 to Doncaster 28. I believe that's a 3-quarter time, as we know, a broken leg in the first quarter. Delayed play quite a bit.
Cheong Park, the final score. Dogs 13-8, 86. Defeated by the Eagles 13-13, 90.
The
Hawks. Sorry, Roeville.
Yep.
13-13, 91. It's the power of emojis and the confusion.
We'll take that, because as I told you guys, Roval always struggle at Cheon Park. Have ever coming up through the divisions. Every time they play South Croydon, they struggle.
Well, no, win's a win.
Certainly heartbreaking for South Croydon, who are trying to get out of that 11th spot in that relegation zone. They do play Doncaster soon, which we think they'll get a win there. Haven't had an update for a while out at Vermont Recreation Reserve, 8-7-55 to East Ringwood 4-4-28. And then at Zerby's Reserve, I think this is final, but again, we'll double check. Norwood 11-15, 81 to Doncaster East, 11-9-75. But just some of your thoughts on some of those results as I have a look and see if I can get some final results.
Yeah, absolutely. So a bit of a danger game there, dodged by Baldwin. I thought Berwick were in with a shot with that. I see Jono with his hand up. What's
Vermont won. I'm just not sure about a score.
Okay, well, Vermont, they take revenge on East Ringwood after...
So top of the ladder, remain on top.
Yep.
Got a final result. That is a final score out at Norwood. 11-15, 81 to
Zerby's.
Out at Zerby's Reserve. So away from home, a big win to Doncaster East, 11-9-75. That's huge. Yeah. We talked that they were going to be a threat.
Yeah.
They're not going to play finals, Norwood now, but they can certainly impact who finishes where in the top 6. And Doncaster East now, they won't finish top 2.
No.
They still should make it. The top 6, there's no way they'll fall out as such, but they're probably going to finish in that 5th to 6th position on the ladder, you would imagine.
Yeah. To indulge myself for a second here, I thought at the mid-season point, I thought Norwood would come up and take Doncaster East's spot in the finals. So a little bit of vindication for me in terms of that, with a huge upset there. I didn't expect Norwood to be one of the ones shaping how the finals end up looking.
It's been one of those weird seasons where, I mean, their form is so inconsistent. That's a big result there. Final result out at Lilydale. I haven't got final score, sorry. I thought that was the final one. But a 3-quarter time score. Wantirna South 14-16, 100 to Lilydale 9-8-62. So they're not going to blow a 38-point lead in the last quarter. You can hold me to it. I think they've won there. So having a look at the ladder in Division 1 now. So assuming Wantirna South has won, Bayswater has lost. Bayswater are out of the running. Murulbark, who are in 6th with a 6 win, they're also out of the running. It's now come down to 6 sides. So in 4th and 5th right now, North Ringwood will sit 4th, 8 wins and a draw. In 5th is Beaconsfield, 8 wins. And now in 6th place is Wantirna South with 7 wins. So mathematically, the rest are out. It's all down to that. Wantirna South, looking at their run home, they play Bayswater in the final game of the season.
No, in next round.
No, they've got Lilydale first.
No, they've got North Ringwood final round.
Oh, they played Lilydale today, don't they? Bayswater, you're right. Bayswater and then North Ringwood. So Bayswater next week. Bayswater season is done at Walker Reserve.
They can play spoiler.
Yes, they can. You'd think you'd probably tip Wantirna South there, maybe with more on the line. You'd think they'd fire up for that one. And then that final game against North Ringwood. If North Ringwood lose next week, just doing the math in my head, I think they may jump them. Yes, they would if they win the last two. So that's probably your best scenario, because I think Beaconsfield have got a winnable game in their final round of the season. I'm just going to have a look at their run home right now, obviously.
Because they've got
North Ringwood next week, and then Lilydale last. So they're going to beat Lilydale. They'll be fine. It's North Ringwood that is still, you can still say they're not safe yet. No. So they've got to win at least one more and hope Wantirna South maybe get done next week and obviously ease it for themselves and look for a finals position as we come to the last 4 to 5 minutes of this. But Ray, it was a good contest between the two sides. A really great game, and unfortunately for Bayswater, they're done now, but they certainly didn't leave anything out there. They didn't die wondering.
No, that's right. And look, we picked the right game to come to, because you would not have got a better game of football to watch on such a beautiful sunny afternoon at the the premier ground in the whole competition. What more can we ask for?
Absolutely. Beautiful conditions today. The sun still out there at the moment out of Bayswater Oval, and we'll be here later in the year. We'll be probably there for the first final, I would imagine, looking at Lee Green at the moment. We're usually there for the first week.
Yes, because the same weekend, the women's grand final at either HE or Quamby.
Yes.
We come out here for a bit of a practice game for my team, actually.
Absolutely. And then we've got, of course, the Premier Division grand final in a month or so time. But we're running out of time here, and it's a big win for North Ringwood, 12-11-8-3 to 10-9-69. Bayswater have consolidated their spot in the top 5. They move into 4th position on the ladder. Jared, pre-game hosted for the first time, or you may have done that before as well?
I did that in a long-forgotten match out at Croydon North at Hughes Park. I hosted the pre-game for the Croydon North versus Kilsyth, I believe.
We've actually we've got some votes from the clubs to have a look at. They will be up on the website too. So having a look at North Ringwood, Jack Whelan was also listed as their best player. Robbie Nahas gave him top votes. Jaden Van Noonan, Joel Nathan, Lachlan O'Donnell, Jesse Meekley and Ben Livingston. They're 6. And looking at Bayswater's, their best player, according to Mark Hardy, Thomas Cameron was listed as the top player. Scott McInerney, Joel Garvin, Timothy Castricum, Hayden Schroeder and Josh Trevey. So some of those names there listed in our votes.
I don't think.
Ray, a fantastic afternoon. Thanks for joining us again in the special comments chair.
Great to be back, and as I said, great game of football.
John O'Van as well, back today, and are you hanging around future weeks? Back for some more men's?
Yeah, looking forward to a big pointy end of the season. It's going to be It's going to be great to jump on the mic every week, that's for sure.
Absolutely, a fantastic game this afternoon. I've got Dylan Smith behind us. He's got the microphone now. Dylan, thanks again. And you were at the women's game this morning, East Burwood Surrey Park, so you've had a busy afternoon.
Yeah, busy one. Pretty tired now, so I'll sleep well tonight. But yeah, two really good games of footy. The East Burwood got back into it in the second half in the women's, and then this one was a fantastic game as well. So yeah, great day of footy.
And obviously Megan Green, who does a fantastic job on the cameras for both the women's and the men's games, a fantastic job. And Lee Green, as always, Lee, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I
sorry, I thought you were still connected.
Yeah, the mic was open before too, and I didn't realise that we're talking about tax returns.
Talking about the important stuff at this
time of the year. It's that time of the day, and yeah.
Well, that reminds me, I've got to do that. I also got to pay my insurance for my car, so there's a few things I've got to get to this afternoon. But
just a peek behind the curtain for the viewers and listeners at home.
I've also got to clean the house, a few other things tonight. But it's all done here at Bayswater Oval. North Ringwood 12-11-83 have defeated Bayswater 10-9-69. Thanks for joining us at the Eastland Match of the Round. We'll see you next time